Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? Ha
Hey, goody. How you doing?
Not bad.
Nice t-shirt.
Thank you. My wife made it for me. I don't know how this really works. Hold on. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay. All right. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Good. I'm trying to arrange it on my side too. It's like weird. It's this weird layout here. Hold
I'm
on.
I'm surprised you use Zoom, bro. Like I figured like Discord or something easier, but
I don't know. It's like it's weird. Um, I just feel like this is actually pretty easy, but I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't use Discord like ever. So
that's fair.
it, huh?
I said that's fair. I get that.
Yeah.
So
So
what?
what's up? I know you posted another video. I haven't. I'm gonna be completely honest. I saw your response to my response.
Uh-huh.
I watched all of it. I didn't get to watch the video that you
Mhm.
posted this morning. I was on set, like, until, like, maybe 10 minutes ago, and I just, I have to go back in a little bit, but I wanted to
Sure,
just
yeah.
see what's going on because I'm just getting flooded with comments, like, nonstop of people. Like, I probably got over, like, 300 comments in the last, like, 20 minutes just calling me an absolute piece of shit.
Yeah,
So
so
I understand what's going on.
listen, man. So after all right, so I know that the chain of this whole thing started with you made your video, I contested it, you fired back. I would say yours was like a pretty intense and probably like bordering disrespect. Really not bordering. I responded and I feel like I was pretty cordial.
Take a moment right now. I apologize for interrupting. So I do
Yeah.
want to apologize for the language that I used in the
It's okay. Listen, man, everybody gets heated.
yeah.
I
You
don't
feel look, yeah, I had actually shot a segment that I was gonna put in my video yesterday,
uh-huh.
that where I, basically apologized for calling you a moron, calling you a dumb fuck. Look, I it really doesn't justify me using that language. I do use it a little bit for the humor of it, but I understand how it can be, how somebody who's on the other end of it can feel offended
Sure,
by
yeah.
that. So I just want to I want to apologize right
Yeah,
now to you. And
it's okay.
um,
The I think that the community post also came off as kind of condescending because even if we disagree in some areas, it feels like I did at least my best. Did you watch my response to your response?
yes, I watched the full hour and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hey, good
that
luck.
was
Good for you. I mean, that's a
I'm
long.
gonna be honest with you, and I have a few points here that I want to ask you
Sure.
about. But I do feel like I mean, at the very beginning, you kind of acknowledged, the part where you basically glossed over all my work and just said that I'm reactionary to Keemstar. Like you
Mhm.
acknowledged that, a few different things at the
Yeah, man.
beginning. And throughout as well, I feel like we aligned on a lot of different things. I do feel like some of the greater points that I brought up, you did kind of just pass off as bad faith comments,
Sure.
and then
Like what? I'm just curious.
I mean, it's like an hour and a half long. I really don't have it off the top. I think, um, geez, I'd have to go through it, but we can take it point by point and just discuss it right now.
Sure, that sounds good.
That's why I expressed what I expressed there because I just thought that, that's why I expressed what I expressed in my community post because I
Mhm.
thought there was a lot of, just deflecting
Mhm.
about, just saying, "Oh, that's in bad faith. That's in bad faith." And at the end of the day,
Mhm.
like, dude, I just feel like saying that someone is bad faith without ever explaining like why you think they're being bad faith,
Sure.
it doesn't really. It's just I felt like it would have been if you had actually explained why you thought I was being bad faith in the
Mhm.
moments where you said I was being bad faith, then I feel like it would have at least helped me understand a little more where you were coming from.
Yeah, sure.
So,
I can explain it. So okay, so when I originally watched, because I do full video commentary, very long winded. I understand why people wouldn't watch the full thing, but I watched the B family's first video, and then I watched their second video, and I watch it live, and then I'll do commentary on it. Through the progression of the video, the way that I operate is that, like, especially from the first one, we start with all the information laid out. Killick was sexually harassing this girl, basically, like completely, like it's inexcusable behavior. Frankly,
I agree on that. That the sexual harassment is
yeah,
just absolutely inappropriate.
it's a problem, and the biggest part of it is really the atmosphere surrounding the problem because it's very normal for this kind of behavior to
Yeah.
happen online. And I think,
And
yeah,
that being said that we agree on that point, I also want to this is something I hinted on I guess it wasn't clear enough. So I guess
mm,
hinting is a word, but I did mention it in passing in my community post.
mm,
Um, that I do not agree with the way the family characterized Killick. I do not
Yeah.
agree at all.
Well, that's
I do
something
believe
that you didn't express in, like, your original video, which was that
that's
was probably the biggest problematic aspect for me, you know?
100%.
Yeah.
I find it to be problematic. And the reason why I didn't address it in the original video is I was doing a recap. And
Mhm.
honestly, I used to do deep dive commentaries. You can go back
Sure.
like maybe like 2, 3 years ago. I used to do like deep dive commentary. Like when Tati Westbrook published that video, like accusing Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star of like conspiring against James Charles, I did like it was like maybe 30, 40 minutes. And I got her old video and I did like a compare and contrast. And like I used to do, now I'm doing mostly recaps. And,
Yeah, I
you
get
know,
that, and a lot of it's lost in
at the end of
translation.
the day, that is my fault that I didn't include that I didn't rebut that.
Mhm.
I should have rebutted it, really, and I should have, really made a bigger point out of calling that out, because I do find it to be extremely problematic that, they characterized this first off, they got his age wrong. He's, 17, they
Well,
said
so
he was
the biggest problem with the getting the age wrong is more that, like, I don't know where they got 19 from. His Twitter said 16,
well,
which
I
and
mean,
his Instagram said 17, and I think it's like
we can
it's a
spend all
big
day
deal to
here
me.
speculating
Huh?
where they got the age. We can spend all day here speculating
Sure.
why they got the age wrong, how they got it. We will never know.
Sure.
It'll still be speculation unless they make a video and say, or there's actual evidence
Mm.
of them showing us exactly what happened and how they arrived at that age. We will never know.
Right.
We
So
can
the one, and I know that's true. The for me when it
yeah,
comes to it is that after they had admitted in the details description that he's 17, in their follow up video they continued to refer to him as a grown man. So to me it
yeah.
comes off as
So that
very
is
very intentional.
across the board. We agree on that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is extremely fucked up.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that weaponizing sexual assault, weaponizing pedophilia, weaponizing any form of abuse is extremely fucked up.
Yeah, and to be
And
honest with you, it's
to
also
say,
something that like has happened to you, which is one of the things that kind of felt like cognitive
yeah,
dissonance to me.
well, that's fine. That's an entirely different conversation, and I
Sure. Yeah.
appreciate you bringing that up. But this is what when I was covering the main video, I was too laser focused when I was did my initial coverage of this in my first video. I was too laser focused on one part of the conversation. And honestly, you're right. I should have addressed that part as well. That is entirely my fault.
Yeah.
And
You don't have to beat yourself up over
forward
it.
when I do my recaps, because there's a different format. I mean, if you watch my videos, you'll see that it's like lightning fast
Yeah.
recap.
Mhm.
I'm doing one-liners. I'm doing sometimes I'll go into something a little more like that I'll give my opinion on, and I'll really dive into it if I feel like really invested
Mhm.
in the topic. But at the end of the day, it's like the format itself that I created, it kind of hinders me to an extent. And honestly, I feel like this has been good because um, it makes me want to, perhaps add more aspects of deep dive
Yeah.
commentary in what I do so that I can rebut more of these greater points. But at the end of the day, I was too laser focused on one aspect of the situation and I neglected the other one. And that is entirely my fault. And I apologize for
It's
that.
okay.
And I
Just
will
I
be
wanted to.
I promise that at the beginning of my next video, I will I will do make a mention of it so that I can set
Okay.
the record straight
Sure. I
and
appreciate that.
make sure that we, there are two sides to every story.
Yeah. Sure.
And I try my best to capture both sides. I really
Yeah.
do. So I'm not saying I'm perfect.
Mhm.
I do have my shortcomings and I will fail. And honestly, I appreciate the people who try to hold me accountable and call these things out. And the only thing I can do right now is really do this. I'll go and insert this at the beginning of the next video
Sure, yeah,
and
and
try
I
to
would say you don't have to beat yourself up over it. I mean, like, listen, I've been there too. I've made plenty of mistakes. I talk about it a lot. I really just quickly wanted to explain like why I felt it was bad faith. Nothing like super complex, but like I was saying before, I had like a very detailed take about like the way that they represented the situation, et cetera, et cetera. And you didn't mention that, and so to me, it comes off like you focus. I understand why you'd focus on like the girl crying because it makes a lot of sense, right? Like it's very emotionally evoking. At the end of the day, regardless of I don't believe it's traumatic, but it's still something that's probably upset her. And so I
well, I
diminished. I
disagree
did.
with you on that. I honestly, that's one thing that I mean, I'm not a 15-year-old girl. You're not
Sure.
a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah.
We're not in her head. We don't
Sure.
know what's
I would
going on.
say from a from a trauma perspective, like I would say like okay, absolutely probably upset, but trauma is like a very deep-seated thing. And I think that
Yeah. So
cons-
I can't.
I can understand why
The
you wouldn't want to say yes or no, but like I just wanted to get that out there that I don't believe that this would create a traumatic experience. Like I don't think
well,
I think
I
that
have to disagree with you on that.
okay.
I honestly,
Why do you say that?
well, honestly, and I'm gonna pose a question. How many times have you like cried on camera?
A couple times, I guess, like 2 or 3 times.
Okay, and let's say how many hours have you streamed in your entire career so far?
Probably, I don't know, not that. I mean, I guess I've only been streaming for like a year, but a pretty good amount. Sure,
Oh, thousands of hours probably.
sure,
So out of those thousands of hours, there are 2 or 3 times where you cried. And what I
sure,
mean, I don't wanna make you rehash this, but I
sure.
assume that those 2 or 3 times where you cried,
Yeah. It was
something
I cried because I had to recant the experience of my wife telling me that she was violently raped. And
exactly.
I think that no, but I think that it's very bizarre for us to say, like, that's a trauma response. People have traumas. Like, I was talking about one of the traumas that I
Yeah.
have. Somebody broke into my house and it's something that upset me, and like it carries over where like I compulsively walk outside
So
and check the doors.
so obviously what
I don't think that being called names on the internet would be traumatic. Not it could be upsetting, but traumatic, it just feels like we're still over exaggerating trauma and like
Right.
you know?
I understand what you're saying. The thing is that there's some weight, right? That my point with what I was getting at was the reason why you cried those 3 times on stream, there's some
Sure.
weight behind what you were doing, right?
Yeah.
The level of importance, you were emotionally
Literally.
invested. There was something that it was really important to you, and you felt that emotion. That's why it came out
Sure.
genuine, right?
Yeah.
I don't know her enough. I'm assuming, but I don't think you know her enough
Mhm.
to jump to the conclusion that she would go on a video and fake cry.
Mhm.
I I've been doing this long enough where if somebody is faking it, eventually evidence comes out. And
Mhm.
if somebody isn't faking it, then we just have to, or if it appears that they're faking it, at the end of the day, I would much rather give someone the benefit of the doubt than to just fall into cynicism because it's just a really slippery slope because everybody in that case and everybody on social media is faking everything, right? You could just easily go, "Oh, they're faking this because they want this, or they're faking that because they want that." And at the end of the day,
Well, it's
I'm
more than
not in
just
a
that, because it's a disproportionate response. But I do want to say one thing for context. And like you can believe that the
yeah,
crying is real. It doesn't necessarily make it a trauma response. But also, like, there's literally, if you watch, she's crying, which seems like fake crying, and then they cut the camera and cut it back on and she has tears in her eyes. It seems weird for them to cut in that way. It does add to the speculation. And again, we have a very disproportionate response to the situation. And it
at the
seems
end
like
of the day, I don't find it unusual for a 15-year-old girl to cry
that's fine,
about
but we have a trauma
I've
response.
had
There's a difference between getting upset and then like saying that this is a trauma
I
response that's going to cause
here's
like
the thing, I
PTSD.
don't this is where I guess I end up disagreeing on because
Sure, yeah.
I don't find it to be my role
Mhm,
as I have lots of opinions, trust me, and
sure.
I have lots of jokes and all this shit, but I don't find it to be my role, at least at this moment in juncture in my career, at this moment, I don't find it to be my role to, define whether she specifically
Mhm,
is having a traumatic experience or not. Now, I'm I don't know, I've done hundreds of videos, I don't remember if I've ever done that in the past. If I've done it, then I just learned from my mistakes, just like in this situation. But I honestly I'm in a position right now, currently, where this is what I feel, and honestly, I don't wanna speak for someone else's trauma, and honestly, it even makes me a little uncomfortable having to rehash this 15-year-old girl's trauma and, like, speculate on top of it because it's her story to tell. Do you
mhm.
understand? Like,
Well,
that's why
I will say that it's interesting that we're focusing so much on her crying, but not so much on the other aspect where we have like something that's been a very historical problem of overmatch, like maturing young black kids, and then overprescribing punishment. And it's weird that that's still like
let's focus on that, let's
this
go on
white
to that.
girl. Well, hold on, this white girl crying is still overtaking this like very real historical issue, and
That's
that's
totally
the biggest
fine. Move on to
that's
that.
like the
I mean,
primary point, you know?
that's totally fine. I mean, the
Yeah.
conversation ended up veering in this direction. If you wanna move it somewhere else, just move it. Let's have this conversation.
Oh yeah,
Whatever you
no,
wanna
well so that's like one of the biggest issues. So like watching through the video, there's a big problem with them intentionally getting the age wrong and then over prescribing punishment. Like I don't know if you watch their videos, but their punishment was that they think that he should get banned from YouTube. They're going to follow him
Yeah,
across every.
and I said it in my video. I said that it's never gonna happen because especially what she says,
Well,
that she
never
wants
going to
everybody
happen is
that
different from. Do you think it should happen? Did you think
what
Killick should
she
get banned?
says look, I'm against deplatforming. I've been deplatformed myself on
Sure.
Twitter. I don't think anybody should ever lose their platform for any fucking reason. But at the end of the day, we're not at the mercy of my opinion or your opinion or whatever what anybody else believes. We're at the mercy of these platforms. So there's a reality of what we want things to be, and there's a reality of how things actually are.
Well,
So
sure.
how things actually are is that honestly, if they look, I'm just gonna speak very candidly right now. If they know
Sure.
the right people at YouTube, maybe they could make this happen. I don't know.
Right.
If they don't, then it's probably not gonna happen.
Well, it should I
At the
don't
end
think
of
it
the day,
should happen. Yeah.
I don't think it should happen. I said I'm against
Well,
deplatforming. It should.
before, I wanted to just mention because they did more than that. It was like I want them off YouTube. If he goes to any other platform, we're going to file him. We're going to file. We're going to like sue him for
Well,
defamation.
they appear. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Their state of mind in that situation, they appear to be very emotionally invested and very emotionally carried away by the situation.
Okay.
I would be interested to know if, like, in a month from now, they regret saying what they said, because that's usually when situations get emotionally charged. People end up doing things they end up regretting. Now, I'm not giving them a pass for the
Hmm.
shit that they did because they did sit down, edit the video, and upload it,
Hmm.
but that is one thing that maybe at the end of the day they'll end up rethinking this situation and think that they took it too far. But they definitely with the way they characterized him, that was absolutely wrong. It
Yeah.
shouldn't have been that kind of characterization. I apologize. My dogs are running around me. They may end up appearing here at some point, uh, or they may end up hitting one of the cables and everything may end up getting cut off. But or you may end up hearing growling. I'm sorry. I just
It's
have to
no
cut.
problem. No problem.
In case you hear growling, that's I got a pug and a cavalier just running around.
Hmm.
Uh, anyway, to go back to what I was saying, I honestly, I'm against deplatforming of any sort. Okay,
Hmm.
I think you said it in your video that he got a community guideline strike. That
Yeah,
is
I think that was fair.
punishment that the platform typically prescribes for these kinds of situations. So if that's what the platform thought they should do, then that's what they did.
Hmm.
Um, and at the end of the day, I'm not responsible. Like I feel like these kinds of conversations about, oh, should he have gotten a strike? Should he have gotten this? Like, we're not responsible for these decisions. I just got a
Well, yeah,
strike.
but we're talking about like we're not talking about whether we're responsible or not. We're talking about like what do we think is a reasonable action and a reasonable thing to experience. And like
Yeah, but I mean,
they
this is the kind of conversation that I appreciate having. But at the end of the day, I've had it so many times. I've seen so many people have it. Unless we know somebody at YouTube that we can directly influence to make this change, nothing's gonna happen. This is like it's literally a conversation that's just speculative and it doesn't really lead
well, yeah,
anywhere.
but the conversation the conversation is simply what I was bringing up was that their over
Like I said in my
prescription of
post, look,
punishment.
I want to have a conversation that's productive that we can all
Well,
learn
why?
something.
Okay, I know, but I mean, all I'm saying, what I'm trying to prove when I say this is that like they had a very disproportionate response where they want to deplatform him and chase him across platforms
That
and
is
sue him.
awful. I said
That
that's
that no,
absolutely awful.
I know, and that's simply what I was bringing up was that like this contributes to the disproportionate response. Before you were giving him like them the benefit of the doubt that they were very emotionally charged, and again they intentionally lied about his age and like over like matured him.
Yeah, they fucked
And so
up.
we
They
have,
fucked up.
I know,
Really want
but like that's an inexcusable. There's a difference between getting very emotionally charged and like intentionally misrepresenting information.
okay, now look, we at the end of the day, they fucked up. They should have done the right
Yeah.
thing. Like I said, they sat down whether or not they were emotionally like invested in the situation or not. They sat down, they recorded the video, they knew exactly what they said, they edited it, they uploaded it, they left it up. So at the end of the day, I mean, this is pretty open and shut. I mean, I don't agree with the way their approach in their first video. Like I said in my community post,
Mhm.
I don't agree with their approach. I don't agree with the way they characterized him. And I said I understand that they may have been emotionally invested in the situation in a way that led them to go further than what they would usually go. But at the end of the day, it doesn't justify it.
Sure.
So I just want to make that abundantly clear. Now, I feel like we're also talking around in circles. So I want to figure out
Mhm.
a way that we can make this conversation productive because we're clearly on the same side as far as the harassment was uncalled
Well,
for.
I think it's
The
been pretty
characterization,
productive. I think that just the conversation in and of itself
yeah.
is a productive conversation. Yeah.
So I'm just thinking of like how we can wrap this up in a nice bow and like just really
Yeah.
have
Well,
so
I just wanted like one question, and then if you want, like, you can give your closing, I give a closing, whatever you want to do. I had a
yeah,
question.
I mean it's fine. We can I just want to recap real quick. So we
Yeah, yeah, sure.
both agree that the harassment was
Wrong.
uncalled for and
Hmm.
absolutely should not happen. we both agree that the way the family characterized Killick was absolutely wrong and absolutely uncalled for as
Mhm.
well. And it was, to some extent, it was extremely defamatory as well.
Mhm.
Uh, and uh, I think those are the two big main points. And
Yeah.
also, as far as the punishment, he got a community guideline strike. I think you agreed with me
Yeah, I
on
think
your
that's fair.
response that was the appropriate response, and I even said it in my video. So I think that those are the three main points, unless I'm missing something.
No,
Um,
so well, the biggest, like, a lot of this is like a big, my main point was like how, like, so like the race issue that's involved in here, and it's very speculative, but honestly, I don't think that it's unreasonable to make this assumption, because you do have the situation of, again, like, intentional, like, it's a very important detail to me that they intentionally misrepresented the age.
you're trying to say the family's racist because they did that.
I mean, like, listen, man, this gets into a very complicated conversation about racism. Do I think that they're actively
Yeah,
racist?
just say it. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to get to a
Well,
point where we can't just,
no,
like,
no, no. I
beat
know.
around
Well, okay, but I don't want to water this.
the
I don't want to water this down of, like, of this, like, prescription of racism, because what I wanted to say is that, like, I think that this is something to me that's, like, yeah, like, subconscious bias. Like, I do think that the fact that he was black had, like, an impact on this situation. I do think that it motivated them to be more aggressive. I could be wrong.
family's racist. As far as subconscious bias, everybody has subconscious biases
Yeah, and
as
then more, some people lean into their subconscious bias more than other people, and I do think that they, like, lean into it more. Yeah,
you
I don't
think
know.
just
I don't
say it. If you think they're racist, just say it.
I don't know that they're actively racist, but I think that there's a racial component here. Yeah.
Okay. So you don't so then you don't think that their actions were racist?
I think
I
that
don't understand.
I do think that their actions were racist. Yeah, I do.
Okay, so if their actions were racist, then by definition they're racist. That's how it works.
Sure. I mean, I know. I don't know why you're watering it down. Like, I'm talking about, like a subconscious bias and stuff too. You
I'm
know.
not watering it down. I'm just trying to arrive at a conclusion. But I look, I understand it's a pretty big statement to call them racist. At the end of the day,
Okay.
I do think they fucked up. I
Yeah.
would like to believe that they are not racists at heart, but what they did was extremely damaging to a young black boy. It's
Yeah.
extremely fucked up. It is extremely fucked up.
Yeah.
Uh, and I really wish that at the end of the day they had handled that whole situation a little better, because what the issue that they were bringing up is a really serious issue, and I
Mm.
really do think that their daughter is going through something right now, and I think that they could have perhaps approached the situation with a little more tact.
Do you
To
think that the struggles that the daughters is going through is lost due to the fact that they, like, overreacted to it? Like, do you think that the message is lost due to
I
the way
think
that
those
they
are 2
decided to
separate
approach it?
conversations. I
Hmm?
think that those 2 things can exist at the same time.
Sure.
Just like we're talking about her experience and we're talking about how they characterized him. Those are 2 things that are ongoing, that are hand in hand, a part of this,
Mm.
whole scenario in this conversation. And,
Can I just want to ask you, like, one question, because there's people in your comments that are saying like this, but do you think that she was sexually assaulted?
no, I don't even understand how sexual assault was brought into this conversation, and honestly, I
I was
don't
just
if
curious if you agreed with that characterization.
bring it I saw you bring that up a lot. That's actually a good thing you brought up. I saw you bring that up a lot in your initial response to my video,
Mm.
and that was kinda confusing to me. Now, I know that they used language that implied that a lot.
Well, they said he was a rapist, so, like, yeah,
I
that's a
just
pretty
think
heavy
yeah,
implication.
exactly. Exactly. So they used language that implied that a lot, that kind of framed that whole thing as that. Um, sorry, I just got an email from someone I was working with.
Mhm.
Not email, text message. Um, I just you know, I was actually really confused, that sexual assault got, like, wrapped into this,
Well, the
conversation.
family wrapped it into the conversation.
Of course, yeah, that was a mistake that they did, and they shouldn't have done that. I mean, they overshot, like I said, they overshot the whole thing. But this is about this girl being publicly sexually harassed.
Okay.
The sexual assault is different by definition. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a different conversation. I don't think it should have been injected into this, because it just ends up adding a whole level of emotion to it that really doesn't provide any clarity to resolve anything really.
Well, that's the
So,
thing too, is that they injected it even though it was completely uncalled for, which speaks
yeah,
again to,
that's
like,
fine.
their just bad faith from them in
They fucked up.
characterizing this. Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, they fucked up. They fucked up. I don't know what's in their heart. I don't
Yeah.
know them. That's the whole thing. Like we're all
Well, yeah, but
we
we
have
can
to
make reasonable assumptions, and like we have consistently, they've been misrepresenting the situation in order to make this kid look as bad as possible. They called him a
yeah, we have
rapist.
to take a moment. Look, we have to take a moment and step back. Look,
Okay,
we only know these people just like you and I know each other up until
sure.
this point. We had never spoken before. Okay. We only know each other through a screen. Okay. This
Mhm.
relationship is extremely it's a passive relationship. We get to have our observations but we're learning about these people through a distance and we're making value judgments and all this stuff
Okay.
based on what we are seeing and oftentimes projecting onto what we see on the screen.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, I like, I think they fucked up. I think they shouldn't have done what they did, but I think that having a conversation of what is in their heart and what is in like, I think it's just a weird conversation I have since I don't know them. I can't really speak. I feel like
But it feels like a really easy thing to say. Well, I don't know them, so I can't pass a judgment. But like we've seen again that they've completely misrepresented the situation. That's an objective
yeah, they
truth.
they fucked up. I mean,
So
that's
as
they
to why,
misrepresented it, I
either
don't know
they're
why.
well, okay, but as
So
to
what?
why
I
they
mean,
misrepresented the situation is either that they're
you think
wildly uneducated on
why they
anything,
look,
or they were trying to
here's the thing.
deplatform this kid.
You think the reason why they misrepresented it is because they're racist?
Possibly,
I
they're
don't know.
definitely pieces
I
of
don't
shit
know.
for it.
I don't know. While their actions definitely were,
Well, okay, so like I just need you to understand something. They called him a rapist and a predator. Like, do you know how do you think that feels to people who were raped to call this kid a rapist?
that is, I've said it. I've said it. It's absolutely fucking
Yeah.
wrong.
It's yeah, so, like, I feel like we're giving
Wrong.
them a tremendous amount of the benefit of the doubt here, and, like, not even
I'm
saying,
not.
like, they did a bad thing intentionally. It very much feels that way because there were so many areas where they failed. It wasn't like a one-off. Intentionally misrepresented the age, continuously called him a grown man after they corrected the age, weaponizing pedophilia, predators, uh, sexual assault. There's a lot here. And I feel like we're being like a little too easy on them because they definitely did like a really
I just
terrible thing,
look.
and they're
How are we being?
invalidating a tremendous amount of
Hold on.
survivors
Hold on.
here.
Yeah, how are we being easy on them when we literally just we
No, I know,
called
but you
them out
keep saying that
for
we
the
don't know what's in
framing
their
of the
heart.
entire thing. We called them out for the framing of the entire story. They
Yeah.
literally just got called racist. I don't know if calling someone racist is going easy on someone to you, but
Well, but that was
uh,
well, I mean, I guess that was me though. You keep
that's
saying like, "Oh, we don't know what's in their heart," and that's what I mean. Like when I say we, I'm compounding the
hey,
two of us so that
at
we
the end
can
of the day, you're
share this
asking me to
struggle together.
end
Uh,
of the day,
I'm not trying to put
asking
you on the
me
spot.
ask, asking me. I can say that someone fucked up. I can objectively say
No.
they fucked up. The way they represented him, the way that they like framed the entire situation, the way that they everything that they used to describe him, they fucked up beginning to fucking end.
Yeah.
However, I don't know them. I don't know the reasons for doing what they did. I cannot jump to a conclusion. I try to like give people like I can't just sit here and with your video for example, I can't just sit here and think that, oh, this guy just hates me. That's why he made that video. He just hates
That
me.
seems to be what you projected in the first video when you first did it.
Where did I say that?
Well, I mean, I think it's implied when you kept calling me like a dumb fuck.
Okay,
Yeah.
but this is again, you're jumping to conclusions.
I think
Where did
I think it's a reasonable conclusion. I don't think that it's unreasonable for us to look at the actions
see,
of
this
other.
is
Hold
the
on.
problem.
I just want to
Why appreciate
let me
what
just
you're saying.
hold on. Let me
You're
just
basing you're basing your entire arguments on assumption.
well, no,
And the
but
thing
okay,
is
but like I hold on.
not based on fact.
let me get a thought out, please. Let me just
Yeah,
okay.
that's fine.
It's
Just go ahead.
I think that it's a very reasonable thing for people to do to receive interactions with the world and then make assumptions based off them. So, like for instance, if I walk outside and somebody calls me a dumb fuck, I'm going to assume that they don't respect me or like me, right? That's a reasonable assumption.
There's a difference between you walking outside and a person on the street calling you a dumb fuck
Yeah.
versus somebody who hosts an entertainment show, a comedian who hosts an entertainment show and is cracking jokes and is I mean, you really
Well,
think that
hold
like
on.
last time I went
Why does the comedian thing have to anything to do with it?
last time I went to watch Bill Burr, he spent the last 30 minutes of his entire set just ripping into this lady that was in the front
Okay,
row.
at a comedy
He
show, right?
fucking ripped her to fucking shreds. He called her a piece of shit. He called
Hmm.
her a gold digger. He called her every fucking nasty name in the fucking book.
Hmm.
Now, there's an aspect of comedy that, yes, insults are a part of it. My show's an entertainment show. People watch me for entertainment. Okay. Now, I apologized for calling you those names. I
Sure.
understand that, you felt I mean, I haven't heard it directly from you, but from a few of the people who are your followers, they said that they felt hurt by me calling you a moron and a
Sure.
dumb fuck. Now
Well,
I apologize.
that's fine. Well, I have a question then. Okay,
Wanted to make that distinction.
where does the
I
humor
just
start
wanted
and
to make
end?
that distinction. I just wanted to make the distinction between somebody calling you a dumb fuck in the middle of the street and somebody who's hosting a show, a comedian who's hosting a show, okay, calling you a dumb fuck. I mean, that's pretty much like there's a difference,
Okay,
okay?
so but where does the humor start and end?
Insults. There are a ton of fucking insults. Insults are humorous. There, Joan Rivers built an
Wait,
entire.
okay. Wait, hold on. I actually agree with you. So wait, hold on. You're saying insults? They're like okay. All right. So you're saying that the insults were jokes?
I mean, my entire show is meant to be jokes.
Yeah. No, no. It's totally fine. You're saying the insult. Okay, so then why isn't it a joke that what Killick said? If you insulting me was a joke, why is it that what Killick was saying? Why wasn't that a joke?
Because the context that he was doing it in is different. Okay.
Well, there was. What is that? What do you mean?
There's this whole thing. He even says that he was doing it to get under his skin. To
so wait,
hurt
why
him.
were why? Well, yeah, okay. So you're saying you weren't calling me a dumb fuck to get under my skin.
Context fucking matters for everything.
You don't think that you were calling me a dumb fuck and calling me an incel to get under my skin? That's what you're saying?
No, that has nothing to do with it. That's because I thought it was funny. I literally, genuinely, I called you an incel knowing that you were married. I knew it. I know that little about you, that you were married. I thought this is fucking hilarious that I'm calling this guy who's married an incel because it's obvious you're fucking married. There's irony there.
Why is it obvious that I'm married?
Funny. Huh?
Why is it obvious? To people, so okay, so to people that don't know me, which is probably like 95% of your audience, how is it obvious that I was married?
Look, I said this in an interview like a couple of years ago, I guess at this point. A lot of what I do is to amuse myself, my own humor. If that translates to other people, then that's fucking fine. A lot of it, if I find it funny and humorous, then that's what I go with. Especially here where I'm literally in a fucking room by myself recording these videos.
Sure.
Versus being in front of in a comedy club in front of people who are actually giving me like real time reactions.
Okay.
It's different. It's like I have to go with literally things that I find funny. And as I said, look.
So okay, hold on.
That it didn't feel too good about it. So
yeah, no. This is the thing that's interesting to me because like there was no obvious indicator that there was a joke. And so what you're saying is like, hey, I make content for myself, and like what my intentions matter more than the way that it's pushed into the world. Are you saying that like you don't like? Do you feel that content creators are responsible for the way that their fans interpret their content? Just fundamentally.
Do you think content creators are responsible for how their fans interpret their content?
Yeah.
I mean, look, this is crazy. You could fucking take the Chapman case, him listening to the fucking Beatles for 3 fucking years and then deciding to murder John Lennon. You're gonna blame John fucking Lennon for that?
Well, no, but there's a difference between like that's an outlier, right? So that's a massive outlier. There's a difference. That's a massive outlier. There's a difference. Hold on.
You're gonna blame John Lennon for literally murder.
This is not actually. No. There's a difference between like us, like an outlier individual misinterpreting a point and then being a radical versus you giving off something that the majority of your audience interprets as a particular thing. Most of your audience interprets like all the dumb fuck insults as like I'm a dumb fuck, right? So like that's what I'm saying. So do you think
you're speaking for like 600 something thousand people?
Yeah, well, according to my comments, like yeah, I mean,
for a lot of people who are very supportive of you. Apparently, we share a fan base somehow.
Yeah.
So there's like
why do you say somehow?
Because I have no idea. I have no idea that we like align or that we have people who are like aligned with the same point of view. I honestly like people once the whole thing happened, people started sending me some of your videos like where you say that a white person can say the N-word as long as it's in private. Like I was like, how do I align?
We could talk about that if you'd like to. I talk about that all the time.
Let me finish my point. I'm just saying.
Sure. Well, that's a big point that you just mentioned. So I would like to address it.
I was genuinely confused how like I had an audience that intersects with somebody who believes that kind of shit or has
sure.
Said
So
that kind of shit.
Yeah, sure. Let me talk about it. So I know what you're referring to. I didn't say that like you can say the N-word in private. So what I was actually saying is there's listen, man, because this is a big conversation. There's actually a lot of good content creators on TikTok, even if they get sucked into like the commentary sphere where they get very divisive, right? One of those people is Aunt Karen. She's actually a good content creator, but she kind of lets herself get sucked up in a similar way to me, except obviously I got banned for it, which is fair, I think. One thing that she had done is she like intentionally went out of her way. She found a follower of mine that had said something really dumb about white people saying the N-word. They said like, we should all say it or no one should say it. It was somebody I had mutually followed back. So she called me out and said like, oh, do you agree with this? And this is what I said. I said, first of all, I don't think white people should be having the conversation about who should and shouldn't say the N-word. I said, second of all, if you insist on saying it, say it in private and don't be antagonistic. It's a pragmatic thing to say. It's not me supporting it. And then I lastly said that there are basically some white people that grow up in areas where it is acceptable for them to say it to other people, like other black people. That's not me. That's not even a representative of the majority of white people. But I gave like a very pragmatic, like nuanced take that was intentionally taken out of context.
I understand that's your take. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the same way you have a nuanced take as far as this situation, I have a nuanced take as far as interpreting people's intentions. Yeah. And that's why I would, if I don't know the person, if I don't know what drove them to do something, at the end of the day, I would rather skirt away from cynicism and just attribute that this person is evil. They're doing this because they want this and that and this. And, you know, unless there's evidence to prove the contrary, then to just say, you know, that
the problem I have with that is that like when you first addressed my video to you, you completely disregarded my point, and you started off with the young girl to prime your audience into thinking that I was some kind of like somebody who supported like predatorization. You said something about that.
Like, hold up,
because you said something along the lines that like I enjoy like stuff like this, and so like that's priming your audience instead of starting with like here's Papa Gut's take. Hold on. Instead of starting with like here, wait, hold on. Instead of starting with like here's Papa Gut's. No, I'm not. So hold on. I just let me get my point through, and then you could talk. Like let me just get my point out, right?
But like, you're clearly mischaracterizing. You started. How can you get a point out?
But how can you like make the assertion that I'm mischaracterizing it if you won't even let me finish the point that I'm trying to make? Why are you afraid of me finishing the point?
The mischaracterization. You said that I primed my audience to already hate you.
Yes.
Like that's so absolutely insane.
I know. I don't know why you did it. So listen, let me just get this thing out. Listen,
you're doing it.
Listen.
First, you jumped off the assertion that I did it.
So okay, let me propose my point. I know that. Listen, man, I don't want this to devolve into this.
I'm curious because that's actually I take that very seriously.
Okay,
like,
so let me get it out.
That I'm manipulating my audience to hate you.
Okay, so can I get my point?
If I wanted to do that, look, if I really wanted to do that, there are better ways for me to do it than what is in my video.
Can I make the point?
Honestly, I kind of suck at doing that because of the amount of blowback that I got from this shit. I honestly, I suck at doing that. If that's really what I tried to do, damn, I fucking suck at doing that.
I'm not trying to go down like this path of like
successful at doing what you're saying that I tried to do, then I fucking suck. Okay. I suck at that. Seriously, I wouldn't be here. Like I wouldn't have to be here having this conversation.
Listen,
I wouldn't be.
I do appreciate you here.
Like, do you understand how your own point undoes itself?
It doesn't. Like I haven't been able to make the point yet. Like, can I make my point? I just want to be able to get it out there. Okay, so listen, first and foremost, like we'll talk, priming is something that everybody does. People do priming for positive reasons, negative reasons, and neutral reasons, right? If I broke something in my house, let's say I broke a vase. It was my wife's favorite vase, right? And she came home, and the first thing I said was, listen, I don't want you to get mad. I got a little drunk, and I didn't know what I was doing, and then I broke your vase. That's priming her to not think it's a big deal. What I'm trying to say is that, like, we were talking about the intentions of people. I forget specifically, but like or mischaracterizing or being And if you were going to go through the situation in like probably the best way to do it, it would be here's Papa Gut's take and here's why I think it's wrong. But what you did instead is you focused on the girl and you didn't even bring up my specific problem.
No. That is perhaps that's the way you do it.
That's the way you should do it. But then how come you didn't bring up my original point in your response video, even though I made it clear like multiple times?
It's your original point, the point that the family mischaracterized him?
Yeah, and then like the racial element.
Yeah, I was focusing on one aspect.
I know, but don't you think it's like kind of dishonest to not add like a huge part of it?
Now I'm literally saying I said it at the very beginning of this. I don't know why you keep bringing back to something that I already said they fucked up. They did the wrong
That's
thing.
not what I'm saying. I'm saying that like you didn't address it, and you didn't address my point in your original video.
That
In
video's
like your
done.
video. No, I know. It's just it feels like every time I just try to make a point, instead of being like, you know what, that was shitty of me, you just like, let's move on. And I'm trying to make
Yeah,
like a reasonable point
dude,
here.
listen, that video's done. The
Sure.
best I can do right now is exactly what I told you when we started. Okay. I came here, acknowledged that I didn't include that. I failed to not include that in the first videos that I
Yeah.
covered this situation. Failed. I
And
failed. I fucking
and then again in your response
failed.
video to me.
I failed including that. I failed to include that. So
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do is at the beginning of my next video, I will address it. I
Sure.
don't know what else I can do about it. We can keep coming back to this point, but it's just gonna keep rehashing and we're gonna keep going around in circles. And like I said, this conversation isn't gonna be really productive if
Yeah.
this is how it's going to end up being.
Okay.
Um,
Can I ask you a question really quick?
Yeah,
Do you have a lot of very circular conversations with people?
I do not actually, no. No, but this conversation is
So
actually really
this is an outlier conversation, this circular, because I would say I don't usually have circular
I honestly
conversations
feel
either.
like you keep bringing back the same exact points. We've already been through it. We
Well, yeah, but
we
like the problem is like you're kind of like you're
trying to move on. So clearly, I don't go in circular conversations. I think it's
I
I just think it's interesting. I just think it's interesting. I don't know what else I can do. I mean, if anybody has a suggestion, look, I'm open to suggestions. I am far from being a perfect human being.
sure, me
I
neither.
try my best, but at the end of the day, I suck. I suck. I suck. Like any other person, I suck. I'm learning how to live every day. I
Okay.
will keep making mistakes. The only thing I can promise you is that I will try my best to present everything I do in the most honest way possible and to stand by my principles. And honestly, I made a mistake in that situation. I should have not been as laser focused on that one aspect of the girl being publicly sexually harassed.
Mhm.
And I will remedy that at the beginning of my next video. I'm trying to remedy that right now by having this conversation.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else you want me to do.
Oh, like in all honesty, I don't even care if you included. Well, I don't even care if you include me in the video. I'm more interested in like the deplatforming narrative is more important than me getting any like exposure or anything. It's just like I don't think that there's anything else you need to do. It's just that we get into points in the conversation, and then I will bring something up, and then you, no offense, you kind of like ramble around my point until we lost like what the original thing what we were talking about was, and we
So
get
wait,
so off topic.
and what I rambled about. What was a rambling?
I believe we were talking. Okay, so because we really got off topic, we were originally talking about you make it like how what you're saying is like a joke, and then I came into this like, why is it different from Killick? And then we get into this whole conversation about how like, the satire is for you, the way your audience interprets it's up to them, and then I talked to you about how do you think that
Look, let me explain
but no, but
something.
see how you're doing it again. I'm just trying to get my
Like, I understand you want to drill down on my comedy. We can do that all
no,
fucking
but
day.
like I'm trying to like this is a
that
really no, but this is
all
such an
fucking day.
important topic too. Like
I just spent 2 fucking hours with like 6 different comedians, and we were just shooting the shit about comedy the
okay.
whole time. And I fucking love talking about comedy. We can do that all fucking day. At the end of the day, look, it's I do my best.
I know, but like we were talking, like we're just trying to make a point, and I asked you, like, do you think that content creators are responsible for the way that their audience interprets what they say? And you brought it to a very, then you brought it to a, yeah, you brought it to a very outlier perspective. Whereas I was saying that most of the people who watch your video actually believe that you think I'm a dumb fuck. So if you were making a comedic response, it was completely lost.
Let me flip that to you, okay?
Sure.
So, as a content creator, what do you think content creators are responsible for their audience's reaction?
Yes, to a degree, absolutely.
I feel like it has to be pretty black and white because
I don't think that. I think that like making something black and white is. I don't think that most things aren't.
Somebody goes based on your video and literally murders someone, then either you're responsible for it or you're not. So there's no gray area in that.
Right, but that's a very outlier. Like again, most times people aren't getting murdered.
I'm drawing that distinction because that's why I feel like there shouldn't be gray areas in this.
Well, there is. It's like this is a situation of gray areas.
Then you're walking back the yes.
What?
Okay.
So can I just use like an anecdote to try to explain the situation?
Yeah.
So I was a really shitty content creator on TikTok, and I was rightfully banned, right? And one of the things that I did is I made this joke. Right, I made a joke that was a joke to me, and it was basically there was this trans woman who some guy was just asking like, "Oh, how come females do this?" And like, I don't know if you know about like the conversation that some people think that the word female is inherently disrespectful, and so the
Yeah,
guy
I mean,
wasn't being
you say it about in the context of like some guy saying, "Oh yeah, we're
sure.
gonna hook up with some females over there,"
Sure, like
like
high
so, like
value men bullshit, like that's obviously wrong because we know
yeah,
high. I'm,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
assuming we agree with
yeah,
high.
I get
Yeah,
yeah,
high
hook up
value men are
guys.
fucking losers.
Yeah,
Honestly, that whole conversation with Fresh and Finn stuff
yeah,
is
it's like red pill alpha male shit. Yeah, I agree.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but this guy was just using it as like a term, and this trans woman was like very angry and aggressive about it, and they're like, "Oh, what do you mean females?" And so, like, I made this joke, and it was a shitty joke where I put on like a filter that made me look like I was in drag. I said, "Yeah, what do you mean by females?" The majority of I didn't intend to be transphobic, or I didn't intend for people to take that and invalidate their identity, but they did. And I'm responsible for that because yes, my intentions matter, but as a large content creator, one of the
So
things
it
well,
was
hold on, hold
clearly
on,
the
hold
trans
on. Well, hold on. One of the as a content
that's why
creator,
low bag.
well, no, okay, but like I'm saying that
You were
my like a lot.
you were clearly ridiculing the trans person.
Okay,
That's why I got the
can I just want to make this like I'm really just I'm trying to like do like a okay. So the majority of my audience, even though my intention wasn't to be invalidating of this person in a serious way, my audience interpreted it as such. And that's my failure as a content creator. And as a content creator with like a lot of people watching you and following you, you are responsible for like the like your intentions matter, but a lot of times it can get very lost because you're speaking to so many people. So you need to talk in a way that is like as concise as possible. So I do think, yeah, I think that I'm responsible for the hatred that that person got, even if I didn't intend it, because I have, or at least then I had a lot of followers.
look, here's the thing.
Okay,
There's to me, from the way I haven't seen the video, from the way you described it to me,
right,
the clear target of that joke is the trans person.
sure,
Okay, that's the clear target. That's who you were mocking. That's who you're ridiculing.
yeah.
Okay, like there are different types of jokes. I mean, they're
But
like
that's
you were
exactly the same type of joke that you did,
it's
except
like
yours was
something
more
like a
aggressive.
level of
So why is
parody.
yours okay and mine's not okay? This is what I'm talking.
What you did, what you did, what you did was a level of parody, right? Where
Yeah,
you
but
were
it
like
was
parodying
wrong. It was
her,
still
and
wrong because of the way people.
I'm thinking out loud. Give me a
Okay,
second. I'm
okay,
thinking
okay.
out
Go
loud.
ahead.
So you were parodying her. That's why she was the target of your joke,
Yo,
etc. My joke is a labeling joke. I'm labeling you something. Like I've run into this before, where people get offended by the things that I label people. I label Keemstar a toilet drinker. Okay, I literally say he literally complained about it in one of his latest Twitter posts. He's like, he called me a toilet drinker. Like I label him that. I literally, what did I label? I label Bryce Hall, Sid from Ice Age.
okay.
Like I label these are label jokes. They're they're
But I'm
common.
but I'm assuming that you're not a particular fan of Keemstar, and that's why you're calling him a toilet drinker. That's the most people
I
would make that
label
assumption.
everyone that. I just said that I label Bryce Hall as well. Everything. The thing is that there's this whole thing with comedy, right? You can make fun of everyone,
Sure.
but at the same time, if somebody gets offended, then all of a sudden you can't make fun of anyone, right? I try to draw the line in what I do. As far as coming after people's appearance and things that I don't agree with joking about. Like I try to joke mostly about people's actions and other things. Do I miss the mark sometimes? Yes. It's not always perfect. If your end goal with this is for me to change the title, I will go back and change the title. I'll
No,
remove
no, it
insult.
has nothing to do with it. I'm
At
just
the end of
trying to
the day,
show the
at the end
original
of the day,
point that I was
I
trying.
thought it was. I just thought I knew. I I personally knew that you were married,
Okay,
and I thought it was ironic and funny.
okay.
But obviously, I missed the mark. I fucked up.
Well, okay,
So
but
I'll
like the original point that I was trying to make here was that like it seems kind of like a double standard to say like I'm intentional, like I say very rude things to somebody and it's a joke from you, but then when somebody else like Killick does it, it's somehow not a joke anymore.
it's context. Context is
But there's
everything.
no context within your joke because nobody understands the context that you're making. To be honest with you, I think that you're just
Context is that my show is a comedy show.
I think that
Oh,
you use comedy as a way to make it so that you don't have to take accountability for the things that you do wrong. But
I'm literally
if
here.
there's a habit of people misinterpreting your comedy, maybe you're not that funny.
Hold on. You can't just make a blanket fucking statement like that and just say I literally just said I would go back and change my fucking title for you.
Okay,
How's
I
that
don't care about
accountability?
that.
That's some
I don't
fucking bullshit.
I just don't.
No, 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 hold on. That's some fucking bullshit, right? I just said I was gonna change my title. I'll go back and change it.
Okay, I don't
Like
care
right
about
now,
that.
right now. At the end of the day, this is you could say that about any fucking comedian. You could say that about any that they're hiding behind their fucking jokes. That's some straight up fucking bullshit. Yeah, I could say that you have a video, for example, where you say that what was it? It was like they're like apparently signs at supermarkets saying
Yeah,
that
that's
this is
a great video to talk about. Yeah,
and
I
you
brought that up in our video that
don't
I
want to go
talked about
buy
you.
it from a black-owned business or whatever. Like, or even the one where you say if she bleeds, she's ready to breed or
I
something.
would love to talk about both of these. Hold on. Can we talk about both of these?
Are you telling me that you're hiding? You're actually a pedophile and you're just hiding behind a joke? Is that what you're telling me?
Can we
Since
talk
you're gonna
about?
apply since you're gonna apply that circumstance to me, that I'm
Wait.
hiding behind jokes.
Yes.
That person who's actually like I'm a fucking. I know people fucking meme this all the fucking time. Honestly, I don't give a flying fuck. But
Right.
I am an actual working comic. Like I've written for television shows. I've actually been paid to write
That's
sketches
great.
for years. I've acted in shit. Like I did this for a long
So
time before.
can we? So you made like so okay.
I've been like
you
I
made
know comedy programs. I
okay. That's cool.
performed for years. Like this is my actual fucking job.
Okay.
And the pandemic ended up making it so I can do it on the internet. So
Can I address those two things that you brought up?
yeah, I mean that's fine. I just want
those
to
are
say
so because the problem is that I talk about those a lot.
you can address them. I
Sure.
just want to say that just the fact that you threw that out there, it just doesn't stand on its own.
Okay.
Especially when I mean your own jokes. What would that say about you?
What it's
Okay?
but no, but the problem with what you're saying is that I'm already like acknowledging that even if I had positive intentions, my actions were wrong. So let me talk about both of those jokes. So first of all, the old enough to bleed, old enough to breed video.
So what do you want? So wait. So what do you want me to do? No, I get it. So what do you?
Well, I just want to talk about these two things you brought up. I don't want you to steamroll over me talking about these two things.
You want me to apologize for calling you an incel?
No, I would like to talk about these two things you brought up.
That's fine. You said something and I have to like address it because you literally made a point. You're like, I would like, I express regret. So you want me to apologize. I'll apologize. I'm sorry.
No, I don't. Okay, thanks.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Not every joke fucking lands.
Okay.
Sometimes people get offended by jokes. I understand if that offended you.
Okay. I don't want to steamroll through because I really want to talk about those two videos. They're so important.
Right now, on my phone real quick. Hold up. I'm changing.
Okay.
Now.
I really can while you're doing that, can I explain these two things that I brought up before?
Yeah, give me 1 sec. Like I can't. I'm sorry. I can't think like.
Okay.
I'm kind of an idiot. So.
Okay. So can I talk about the old enough to bleed, old enough to breed video?
Where's this fucking video, dude? Oh, here it is. So yeah, give me one. Sorry, I'm changing this right now. So I'm sorry this offended you. It's
it didn't really offend me. Anyway, can I talk about the old enough to bleed?
You wouldn't have brought it up unless it did. So clearly,
I mean, I just disagree. I listen. Okay, so let's talk about the old enough to bleed, old enough to breed. The full joke that I made was if she's old enough to bleed, she's old enough to breed. Thank you very much, Andre Lopez, for the advice. So Andre Lopez at the time was a 23-year-old TikToker with like 20 million fans.
I know what Andre is. I actually broke that story, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, which story is that?
15-year-old girl, the one with the recording.
Yeah. So regardless of my intention was to call that out. I would use humor to call stuff out, but it missed because people misinterpret it. It's an inappropriate joke regardless.
I mean, what's the context? That's the thing that we keep coming back to. Humor is all about context.
I know, but like you threw out the old enough to bleed, old enough to breed thing. I'm just like explaining the take on it. It's still inappropriate because of the sphere that I was in, and like people were very sensitive to pedophile jokes, which makes perfect sense. And so like now I'm more sensitive to making like that joke. And I'm gonna stop because I am worried about the way that what I'm saying is interpreted.
Explain something to you.
I know, but it's not just all. Sometimes it's about the way that people receive information, and like we need to make sure we speak about it in the right. Yes, it is.
Louis C.K. did a 7-minute bit on SNL where he talks about a pedophile in his neighborhood, offering him McDonald's and him getting in his car and getting molested.
But we're not on SNL, and so like it wasn't appropriate for me to make that joke on TikTok.
About context, that's the whole thing. In my show, people know that they're clicking on a comedy show. It's been a comedy show since its fucking inception.
Okay, so are you saying that like you agree with my original take of the old enough to bleed, old enough to breed video?
I have it written in my description. I label it everywhere. Like if you watch my videos and you think that some of the things that I'm saying as a joke are fucking real, then I don't really.
We're going. You're like kind of like gish galloping here. Okay, really quick. The joke I just explained to you. Did you think that my old enough to bleed, old enough to breed joke was appropriate?
I mean, it's not a joke that I would make.
Okay, so honestly. I think it was inappropriate. And that's what I'm trying to make. The context got lost, but it's still an inappropriate joke. And like, I think that that's fair.
Do people know you as that person who does those kinds
But
of
no, but the
jokes?
thing is that we are, when we make content, not only the people who know you consume your content. So like people who know me, when it comes down to like takes that I make, they'll
I know what you're
understand.
talking about. I had that
No.
happen where jokes were decontextualized, and then
Right,
when they
and
went viral.
that's all I'm trying to say is that we're not when we're in a comedy club, the context is very much there. But like when you're in these platforms, it's different. I do want to talk about the black-owned business one because it means probably the most to me. Because the black-owned business joke was quite literally my turning away from possibly going down like the alt-right pipeline. Okay, so this was towards like the end of my TikTok career where I had been like a very like worthless content creator because I was decent for a while. And I had made this joke where I was like, "Oh, there's a supermarket. They do like they're labeling things like black owned, woman owned, et cetera, et cetera." And I made this joke, and I thought it was a joke where I was like, "Now I know what not to buy from." And then there was this content creator, like a really good friend of mine. His name is Blackbird, right? We talk about a lot of shit, like when I say dumb things. He's a great guy. And he said, "Papa God, I know you really well," and it didn't feel like a joke. And that's when I started to really understand my own subconscious bias of like, wow, I'm actually becoming bigoted. So like the way that your jokes come off like can matter. Now, obviously, I'm doing much more loaded shit, but like I wanted to talk about it because you brought it up, and I wanted to make sure that you weren't just bringing it up to try to like throw it out there and try to like pick a shot at me. I
Yeah,
wanted to be able to
I'm using
contextualize it.
that. I'm using it as to contrast you saying that me calling you an incel, like you said, oh no, like you're hiding behind jokes. So I had to bring
Yeah,
in
I
jokes
was
that you
too, though. I
well,
was also
I mean,
hiding behind jokes with that last
what does
one.
hiding behind jokes mean to you? Like it's very clear that my show is a comedy show. I have a fucking cartoon behind me.
But
Like
that's very,
I
but
it,
well, okay, but like I
like
feel like it's not that clear, even if it is a comedy show, because like there's a lot of people with cartoons as characters as it's like what is it like a they're what are they called like V2 bullshit? I don't know what that's called. A lot of people have like their PFP
look,
as some kind of a cartoon character.
I can open it up right now. I'll read what's in my fucking description so you
Do
can
you?
fucking see it.
Okay.
This is I make it abundantly clear. My show is a fucking comedy show. I'm a fucking comedian. I think I have it up until recently. I think I had it in my tags. I had satire and comedy and all this shit. I just
Well,
did.
yeah,
I
but
just
so
did
I make a lot of reaction
Welcome,
videos.
folks.
I make a
a
lot of
bunch of
reaction videos where I like
watch my podcast. You watch my podcast.
uh-huh.
I have two people who
Welcome,
go in there and impersonate YouTubers every fucking week, and we just make fucking jokes all the fucking time about these YouTubers. And I mean, anybody who watches that and thinks that any of it is real, it's made
Okay, but
to.
like so we're kind of going really fast here. Hold on. So, okay, when I do my content, I do humor in my content as well, right? The thing is it doesn't seem like people can tell when you are or aren't making jokes. It sounds more like you speak freely, and then when somebody calls you on something, you go like, "Well, that was a joke," and you don't understand. But there's nothing in the description of your videos that says joke or comedy.
Yeah, I just saw it. I don't have it anymore. I used
Yeah,
to have it. I removed it when I did the when I killed the Minecraft cat. But that is actually but yeah, I think I removed the whole satire thing from it.
sure.
But it's still a comedy show. It's not like anything fucking changed. I just do it's literally fucking jokes the whole time. I mean, you could go through and see some of the jokes. I made jokes about fucking Candace Owens and the Minnie Mouse thing and how she's like an expert at fucking kids issues because she got offended by Minnie Mouse. You think that's meant to be a fucking joke?
Yeah, but
Like
I'm assuming that there's a real message behind the joke, right? Like you're trying to make a point about
of
Candace Owens
course,
not
it's
being
like
credible.
there's
So
every
a lot of times people use jokes to reinforce very real things to make it more palatable for people to be able to absorb.
this is what I used to have in my description. It was Def Noodles is a character created. I mean, it's about satire, like all this bullshit. I'm not gonna
Huh.
read this shit right now. You can go back and to the old videos and see it if you'd like. But my show is a comedy show. I see it from 90% of my comments where people aren't commenting. Like, yes, there are people who comment on the news that I'm like talking about, but the vast majority of my comments are usually about, oh, I thought this part was funny. Oh, I thought this when he said this, I lost it. Like it's about the
Well,
joke.
it seems like you're more of like a drama news channel, which is fine. I'm not criticizing you. And then like
Yeah,
the
no,
jokes would be secondary.
dude, the jokes are not. I've said this over and over again. The jokes are just the news is a setup. It's a springboard for the jokes. That's all it is. It's so I can make the punchline afterwards. That's all it is. The setup is the content that I'm looking at.
Yeah, to
The dramatic.
reinforce your primary content.
What are you talking about?
Like yeah, you make jokes within your content which is about like news. Like you talk about drama news and then you make jokes to reinforce it.
Sure. Yeah, that's I guess
Yeah.
that's one way you could look at it.
I think
The
that's the
thing is,
normal way. Because if not, why don't you talk about like WWE wrestling or something and then make jokes about WWE wrestling?
I've talked about WWE
No, I mean
wrestling.
like specifically because like your stuff is very like drama oriented, which is again fine, but like it seems to be very drama
Not
like YouTube,
drama. You look at the last few. It's news. It's literally
like
fucking news. Like,
drama news. Like yeah, drama news.
dude, it's you can see it through whatever lens you want to see it. The last few, like this last video right here, I'll tell you exactly what
I think
topics I covered.
yeah, we got
Welcome, folks.
so Kanye West, James Charles. These seem
So this second last video
drama
was
people, right?
Candace Owens supporting Kanye West, and then
Yeah.
Kanye West calling out Kim Kardashian, Aquafina apologizing for for using AAVE, and then Joe Rogan apologizing.
Yeah.
And then let's see, that was long. It's a long bit. Oh shit.
But yeah,
And
I
then
see.
The Rock
But I see like a lot of like YouTube sphere
out
drama
for
people.
turning around on the Joe Rogan, and then Donald Trump Jr. exposing
Okay.
fucking
Wow.
The Rock for transphobic comments, and then we go into
Like a lot of drama news stuff.
on the Call Her Daddy podcast, and then we have Keemstar, and then yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so it seems like you drama news and then you use jokes to reinforce it. The only thing I'm saying here is
The
that like
format isn't that much different from Weekend Update, from Jon Stewart's Daily Show, from what do you call it? The Colbert Report. It's a regular format.
No. So the way that it feels different is that like you can tell when they're making a joke. And that's not an insult to you, but like when I don't think that like berating somebody for 75% of the video is a joke. It doesn't offend me. It's just it does show that I think that you're not making a joke. I think that you're being very serious, and then when you get called on it, you're kind of just walking back like, well, it's just a joke. I don't really, but like, how is it? I just don't. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying it just doesn't come off as a joke. I mean, that's just.
So the thing is, here's the thing. A lot of people like to say humor is subjective, right?
Sure.
Maybe the joke's not written for you. That's what it is.
So who's the joke for? People who don't like me?
I mean, clearly I have 600,000 subscribers, so there's a joke for someone. Yeah. So
okay.
And I'm not saying to flex. I'm saying clearly there are people who identify with the jokes.
There are people who identify with your content, and they probably identify with like the hateful speech that you promote.
About this shit, and you're like, you want to die on this hill. You want to discredit me as a comedian.
No. I'm not trying to discredit you as a comedian. I'm really not trying to do that.
No. Be honest right now. This is exactly what you're doing. You're trying to discredit me.
How do you know that I'm doing that? You don't know what's in my heart. Do you see how this? Do you see how that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking.
Yeah. You see how it's a very like it's a weird perspective to take.
This is different. I'm having a conversation.
No, but it's not
with
because you don't know what's in my heart right now. So like, listen, what I'm trying to. I'm just.
Look, let me fucking talk.
I'm not discrediting you as a comedian.
No, listen. Let me fucking talk.
All right. Okay.
You have been asking certain questions. We are having a conversation right now.
Sure.
What you just did is extremely disingenuous because
Why?
you got something that I said. You're basing assumptions off of a video that's been completely finished. That I'm not having a conversation. I can't rebut what the person is saying. I'm not here with the B family as they're making their videos saying, so wait, why the fuck did you just say this? Why the fuck did you just say this? Why did you say this? Like it's
so you don't think you can? Okay, we're going in circles. The point was that people. I don't think people really follow you necessarily because you're a comedian based as 100%. They probably enjoy some of the jokes you make.
How many videos have you watched?
Huh?
You said in your one of your videos, you said you only watched 2 of my videos.
I've watched a couple of your videos. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I mean, you're basing your entire assumption about all of my work on 2 videos.
So you're saying that those 2 videos just weren't funny.
You're basing the value that I give my audience based on 2 videos that you watched without I literally have comments come in all the time. I see all of my analytics. I see what parts of the video hit, what parts of the video don't.
Okay.
I see exactly when people click out of the video. I see exactly when people comment, what they comment. I see how long people watch. I see all of that. I know my audience. Otherwise, I wouldn't make the content.
But the thing is that you're saying that you know to your audience, and like if they resonate with,
like I said, you started this whole thing.
Okay.
You gotta just say it. You got offended that I called you an incel. I changed it.
I didn't.
Okay? At the end of the day, you got offended. You got offended that I called you an incel, and that's totally fine.
But I didn't get.
That is totally fine if that offended you.
It's a really
That is totally fine.
weird game that you're playing right now, where you're trying to tell me that I'm offended by
that is
something
totally
to try to
fine. At the end of
discredit
the
my
day-
perspective rather than to
the end of the
engage
day-
with what I'm saying.
At the end of the day, you got offended by that, and you tried to say that I hide behind comedy.
Wait, can I ask
to
you a
make-
question? Wait. After this conversation, do you think I slandered the B family?
I mean, I think to an extent, yes.
Why?
Because of what you said about the daughter. You said at one point in your video, you said this about the daughter. You said she's a shit person, and I'm paraphrasing, but you said it in your first video response to me. She's a shit person because she comes from shit parents, and you even go on this whole diatribe about how she's going to grow up miserable,
Probably,
and be an awful person. How all of her friends don't like her, and they're just around her because she's famous. You go on all this shit. You say all this. You're telling me that's a joke?
Do you think? Oh no, like I'm serious. I think that that's actually gonna happen.
No, you're telling me is that a fucking joke, or you just decided to tear this 15-year-old apart?
Yeah, no, like I genuinely. So I think that it's much worse to call somebody a rapist, a predator, and a pedophile when they're not, than it is to like anything
now
else.
You're bringing it back to this
Because it's relevant. It comes to the intentions of what I'm saying. I was too harsh, which I admitted, but I do think that she's going to unfortunately grow up very sheltered and going to have a problem communicating with people because she was famous at a young age.
How the fuck do you know any of that? This is
because
again,
you see people that are drug addicts that like you see like celebrity like kid celebrities turn into drug addicts.
Right now, you're having a conversation with me. So why are you? Have you had a conversation with her? Why don't you interview her and ask her instead of just jumping to these wild conclusions?
Wait, why don't you interview her and ask her? I don't know what this is. It's just such a like, bizarre thing that every single time that you do something in a misrepresenting way, it's just a joke and it's okay and you could speculate up and down. But the second that I bring it to and try to make a point, context doesn't matter. It's so weird.
Fucking dishonest fucking are.
I'm not being dishonest, man. Like you're being very you're taking everything very personally. I suggested at one point that like people were missing your jokes and you're using jokes to hide, and you thought I was attacking you for being a bad comedian. I don't think you're a bad comedian, man. But like you're taking these things so personally in general.
Stephen Colbert recently made a joke that Donald Trump Jr. was and I actually made a very similar joke. So he made a joke that about Donald Trump Jr. Actually, he does it. It's not even Donald Trump Jr. It's the other kid, Eric. That he does, he like flips over, he's like talking like that, and he says that he's been disowned by his dad, that he's like the putz and whatever. He like makes fun of him for all these things. You think Stephen Colbert is hiding behind a jokes there? Like he's actually shaming this man's mental state, and he's just hiding behind a joke. You think that?
I'm confused. Oh, so you?
I mean, you can say that. What my point right now is that you
confused.
can say that about literally every fucking comedian. You think that Jimmy Kimmel, whenever he shows a video of Trump nowadays, he says, you know, folks, I made a promise. Every time I show Trump, I'm going to show him also naked. And then he gets a person who's and he shows Trump naked. And then you think he's body shaming Trump when he does that. He's just hiding behind a joke. You think that?
Yeah, probably. Like, yeah, there's truth to jokes. Like he's probably making a shot at joke that he doesn't like, or Trump. He doesn't like Trump, and like that's what.
You think, so to you, there's no jokes.
Can I ask you a question?
No jokes.
Do you think that Jimmy Kimmel likes Donald Trump?
I mean, obviously not.
Okay, well, why is it obvious if he's just making jokes? Because the jokes have real impact. Like that's the only point I'm trying to make.
He said he doesn't like Donald Trump.
Okay.
You go through his show. He says he fucking doesn't.
And then he says he doesn't like Donald Trump, and then he makes jokes about Donald Trump. So those jokes are connected to him disliking him. So we have a direct association between like.
He made jokes about Matt Damon for fucking years. He still makes jokes.
But those jokes weren't like negative jokes. Those were like silly born again
jokes. Oh, I'm sorry, man. We can't have Matt Damon today. He's a fucking idiot. He couldn't be here. Okay. Oh, he got here fucking late.
Yeah. Well, I think that like.
You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
I really, oh man,
you find comedy, and you don't. You have no. Your jokes are if she bleeds, she breed. If she can breed.
See, I knew it. You just brought those up to try to deplatform me. It's a pathetic move, man.
I'm not trying to deplatform you. I'm fucking.
You literally explained why that was wrong, and your perspective is that joke was appropriate. You made the point that you thought that joke was okay, even though I disavowed the joke and tried to explain context, and now you're sitting here trying to deplatform me on it. You have an incredibly disingenuous mind. Everything that you say is so bad faith, and I'm expected to sit here while you yell for 75% of the debate. And like your whole thing is like you're trying to. No, hold on. The whole thing is you're trying to get me upset, even though you've been crying the entire time. Especially since I suggested you weren't a good comedian.
Where are the fucking tears? Tell me where the fucking tears are.
The second that I suggested that you weren't a good comedian because people don't understand your comedy, you melted down.
Don't understand my comedy, dude. You are fucking bullshit. You make these blanket fucking statements. People don't understand my comedy, and yet.
Because it's
Look at
not
my
funny.
following. Look at my fucking following. If people don't understand you,
because they follow you. They follow you because they like how hateful you
let
are.
me ask you a question. Is comedy subjective?
Yes, it is subjective.
Exactly. So shut the fuck up.
Okay, you're right. That means that Killick was making a joke. Shut the fuck up. Boom. That's it. Your whole narrative proves that Killick was joking. You're agreeing. You're agreeing that Killick is actually okay with sexually harassing a 15-year-old girl. Your logic is that it's okay for Killick to sexually harass a 15-year-old girl. It's just a joke. Literally, your own logic is like fucking rape apologist rhetoric. It's incredible. I don't understand how you could sit here and you could spew cognitive dissonance, talk about how you being intentionally hateful is just a joke, but the second that a 17-year-old black kid does it, all of a sudden it's not a joke, and like it's a whole fucking meltdown. It's insane. I don't even think that you have the mental capacity to understand how fucking unintelligent you are here. It's mind-blowing. Either you are the most disingenuous, morally dysfunctional dumb fuck I've ever met, or you like, what is this? Or you just don't understand. I don't understand what's happening here. Listen. I'm okay with you taking this out of context intentionally, but this is insane.
Let me say something right now. Okay, let me say something.
Yeah, say something.
Let me say something. Oh yeah, no comedian has ever been fucking sane. Okay, if you knew half of what I went through in my fucking life, you would be surprised that I'm able to fucking speak right now. Rational.
Wait, so do you think that? Wait. Is it? Do you think that it was a joke that Killick made?
Context. Do I have to explain to you what context?
Do you think he seriously thought she was a porn star?
He's not. First
do you
off,
think that she seriously thought that she was a porn star?
Getting bang banged.
Do you think
that's what he said?
Do you think that he thinks that? Wait, hold on. This is the context. Do you think that he thinks that? What's the context?
There's context. There's context to shit. There's context.
What's the context? Do you think that he actually thinks that she's a porn star getting gangbanged?
You never go unless you acknowledge that there's context. You said if somebody makes this joke on SNL, it's clear because it's a joke. I run a comedy show.
Yeah, and it's not clear.
I run a fucking comedy show. It's not because
please stop. You keep pivoting off the main point. Do you think that Killick was making a joke?
I said it's context.
What's the context? Do you think he actually thinks she's a porn star?
Video, he was saying mean things to get under someone's skin.
You did the same thing to me. I don't understand. It's so weird. It's like this incredible cognitive dissonance here. It's so crazy, man. I don't know.
It's not cognitive dissonance. It's fucking. It's called. What? Explain it to me then. What is it?
It's cognitive dissonance. It's you applying two different moral sets of values based on who you're talking about.
It's context, dude. You're being so incredibly fucking dishonest right now.
No, I'm not. But the problem is I'm being so like commonsensical and clear spoken.
Look, listen. So is there a difference between Trump going and making jokes about Nancy Pelosi's appearance at his rallies versus Jimmy Kimmel making jokes about Donald Trump's appearance?
You think that both of them dislike the person that they're making the hateful jokes about?
Whether they like it or dislike it, that's not the
fucking
point.
That is literally what context is. Do you know what context is? That is literally context. I don't understand. You keep saying the word context.
You're being so incredibly disingenuous.
No, I'm not. I don't even think you know what disingenuous means. I think that the problem here is you don't understand what context means because literally they're making hateful jokes towards people they don't like and they don't like them. So it's a reasonable assumption that they're making them because they don't like the person.
Context, bro. It's a fucking context.
And guess what? They're still jokes. They're just shitty jokes. Just like Killick's joke was a shitty joke, but it was still a joke. Unless you think, unironically, that he thought that she was a porn star getting fucking gangbanged with BBC.
He was saying, I said this in my original video.
Just because you say a thing doesn't mean it's right. Like, I don't understand.
Way too fucking long. I had to be somewhere else.
Clearly, you didn't have to be anywhere, and that was just an excuse to get off the conversation as soon as possible.
I got a text message about it, you fucking asshole.
So why didn't you say, listen, I have a personal business thing to go off into? Like, this didn't devolve until like 40 minutes in, and you said you only had 20 minutes.
Why are you always jumping to fucking conclusions?
I'm not. I'm actually not even doing that. I think that, like, you are not used to getting called out on, like, your bullshit.
I'm not used to getting called out on my bullshit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you don't take full accountability or true accountability for everything.
You realize how many people make fucking videos calling me out all the fucking time?
Yeah, probably. Why do you think? Wait, why do you think they do that though?
So you just discredited yourself. You just said you don't know what it feels like to be called out, and I literally.
Yes, I do. I got called out all the time on TikTok. What are you talking about?
You just literally
what
contradicted yourself.
How?
You said
you said.
You don't know what it feels like. You said this to me, okay? Stop for a second and breathe. You said to me, you don't know what it feels like to get called out.
I never said that.
You know, yes, you did.
If I said that, then I didn't mean it. I don't know what you're talking about.
You said, and I said, do you have any understanding how many people make videos about me every fucking day? And you said, yes, I know a lot of people, or something to that effect. Yes,
Okay,
people make.
sure.
So yes, I understand what it's like to be called out.
No,
I
but
get
why?
criticized.
But why do you think that they make the videos that they make?
I could open Twitter right now, and there are going to be hundreds of tweets of people calling me everything, saying everything, all their thoughts about me, and that's perfectly fine.
No,
okay?
I know, but like, listen, from the perspective that I come from, is like people have called me out very seriously on TikTok, and like a lot, not all of them were correct.
Because you said some fucked up shit. You're here offended that I called you an incel.
I'm not
Meanwhile,
offended.
you fucked up shit. What do you expect? You
Bro,
think
you
people
know,
are gonna
I'm not here because you call me an incel. I'm here because you completely removed the entire context of what I was saying originally about Killick, and that is that he's being intentionally matured to overpunish him. Like I don't care that you call me an incel.
What's the point? You're bringing that back around. What's the point?
This is the problem: is you're making an incorrect assertion that I care about the incel thing, and then I say like, no, you're wrong. This was my problem, and you say we already talked about that. That's just a way for you to pass off criticism. Like I don't understand. You're not listening to what I'm saying.
How am I passing off criticism?
Because every time I bring something up for context, which is your favorite word, you don't seem to let it become a thing. It's like, oh no, we talked about that. Yeah, but it's relevant because you're not acknowledging. We're not here because you called me an incel.
Tell me what I did not acknowledge.
You just said that I'm upset. You just
not acknowledge.
You said that.
What did I not acknowledge? Tell me.
You said that we're here because I'm upset that you called me an incel. But that's not why we're here.
Here at this point of the conversation.
No. What? I don't care about that. I'm so confused.
You spent the last like 20 minutes speculating that I'm not a comedian, that I
didn't say that. I didn't actually say
hurt you and misrepresent you, harm your entire reputation by calling you an incel.
No,
when
I don't think you can harm my reputation. I don't think that you have the credibility to ruin my reputation. No, that's not what I was saying. I said that like some of your jokes get lost in translation. Maybe they're not. Maybe you need to work on the way that you push jokes.
Why are you so that I called you an incel?
Oh, because because I have trauma from you calling me an incel. Because words hurt, and I'm going to kill myself if you don't take it back. I have a trauma.
The fact that ironically just now makes sense why you felt so comfortable ridiculing a 15-year-old girl for feeling
it seems like you're fishing for. It seems like you came into this conversation so that you can intentionally try to rile me up, so that I would say things that make you look dumb, so that you can cut them up out of context. Like you've literally poisoned the well multiple times. I'm really trying. Out of
context. What the fuck are you even talking about? How do you even know what I
don't even know what I'm saying. You don't know what's in my heart because I'm having a conversation with you, just like you said before. I can make reasonable assumptions. Because like you're being so dishonest, man. I'm really trying to have real conversations, bro. This is so.
Can I just ask you a serious question?
Yeah, sure.
How the fuck do you expect to, I mean, just continue having or growing your following when all you do is make extremely dishonest leaps of logic, shift the goalpost all the fucking time?
When did I shift the goalpost?
You're literally trying to fucking. You won't admit that you got offended because I did something. I conceded that. I said, okay.
No, but I don't care. But that's not the point of the. I don't care about that. Can you just answer? When did I shift the goalpost?
I said that I was going to.
These are words that I used against you. Why are you just regurgitating? What does shifting the goalpost mean?
At the beginning of my next video and address the fact that I didn't.
Yeah, and then I was like, and then when you were saying that, I was like, bro, don't beat yourself up. I don't really care about that.
What else do you want?
I said from the start, I was like, bro, you don't have to even mention me. I'm really more focused on what you said about
what else do you want? Just make it abundantly clear for everyone, please.
Okay.
What else do you want?
I'll make it abundantly clear. I've said this multiple times in this conversation. What I said is I don't really care if you mention me or apologize to me. I don't care. My main, like I'm trying to talk and you're going. My only thing I would really like it if you did was you just brought up the issue where the B family intentionally misrepresented his age. You're not even letting me finish. You asked me what you wanted clearly from me and you won't even let me finish.
I said that I'm going to do this. I said this an hour ago.
Okay, but you just asked me to re-clarify. I'm just doing what you asked, and you're having a meltdown.
I'm not having a meltdown.
You
are,
man.
At this point, I'm just extremely annoyed that this is like the most low IQ, dumb, idiot conversation I've ever had in my entire life.
Tend to agree.
Now I'm actually insulting this conversation. I'm a part of it, so I'm insulting myself. So don't feel insulted. Okay, so, I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot.
Can you just tell me how I shifted the goalpost though before?
I don't even remember. This conversation has been going on for an hour.
But you just said that I shifted the goalpost, man. Like, what does that mean to you?
Hey, man, I don't fucking know. At this point,
but that's you literally said that I keep shifting the goalpost. What did I shift in the goalpost?
This is getting levels of ridiculousness that I never even imagined a conversation could reach. I hope that your audience is enjoying it because this must be terrific. fucking entertainment.
Hold on. I will donate $5,000 to the audience of your choosing if you could just tell me how I shifted the goalpost.
Bro, I have to go back and rewatch this whole thing.
Bro, you just said I shifted the goalpost. How are you going to make absurd claims? I just said I would give $5,000 to a charity. Okay. You don't care enough about charity to defend your point? You do really just exposes your whole line of logic, right?
You know what? I'll take back that I said that.
That's your whole entire thing. That's everything. Everything you've said is baseless. When you get pressed on anything in a slight way, you fold. This is pathetic. You just folded. You just folded.
What's your fucking point? What do you want me to do?
I want you to remember. In all honesty, what I would like you to do.
Hold on, dude.
I'd like you to stop being dishonest.
Huh?
I'd like you to just stop being so dishonest.
What the fuck are you even talking about being dishonest?
You just lied and said I shift the goalpost. And then you're like, oh, I take it back because you can't.
I said I don't remember when. You want me to go sit through and go through this shit? I'll go back and go through
it should if you were listening to what I was saying and I shifted the goalpost, it should have been pretty easy to be like, oh, that's where he shifted the goalpost. How can you have an opinion that I did a thing without any foundation for the opinion of the thing I did?
We've been in this conversation for an hour and 20 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We've been talking a lot. You may have said something at the beginning of the conversation that I thought. And that,
what did I say? You can't just say you may. You're making these weird assertions that I did a thing I didn't do. Like, bro.
I literally just said you're just
this
trying
is very disingenuous.
Confrontational right now. Okay?
I really don't want to be confrontational. Like
this is the thing, dude. Look. I'll take back. I said I'll take that the fuck back. What do you want me to do? I take it back. You're like, you folded. And then you're like, no, but you said no, but prove it. No, but this. So I don't know what the fuck you want.
No, but this is okay. Listen. I think it's a really bad thing when we have.
No, hold on.
I don't want to get you. I don't want to I don't want to.
Hold on. Okay. You got me to come on your fucking show. I'm here. Okay, I agree.
Wasn't really my intention, man. I mean,
I agree with the fucking family. Okay, I agreed with that. That's totally fucking fine. I'm gonna retract in my next fucking video at the beginning of the video. That's totally fucking fine. Okay, we agreed on several things, and now what's even the fucking point of keeping this conversation going?
Okay,
you got offended by the incel shit. I changed that shit. What's your fucking point? You're gonna
why do you think I was offended by that? I'm so confused.
Let me fucking finish. If I respond to something, you're like, no, you're doing this. And then if I say, okay, well, I agree, that I'll take this back. You're like, no, now you folded. Now you're hiding behind comedy. Now this and that. Look, dude, here's the thing.
Okay.
You want to have this conversation, that's totally fine. We had it. But at this point, there's nothing productive coming out of it. If your audience is enjoying the show, we can keep going, screaming at each other. That's totally fine.
Can I ask you one question?
They can enjoy this. I don't mind fucking screaming and giving people a fucking show. At the end of the day, like I fucking said, I'm an entertainer. As a comedian, I've been trained for people to laugh at me or with me, regardless of the fucking context. I've done enough shit where I know how to play second fiddle. I know how to be the main guy. I know how to be the voice of reason. I know how to be the character. Whatever the fuck it is, I don't give a fucking shit. At the end of the day, here's the thing. What else do you want to accomplish with this conversation? Because I actually came on here with at least the minimum goal of accomplishing something, and we're at the 90-minute mark almost. Okay. And there's literally I'm missing shit that I have to be doing. I literally miss shit that I have to be doing. So I need to know that there's some ending.
Can I just give my ending? My ending here.
Instead of trying to discredit me as a comedian and say that I hide behind jokes and all that stupid bullshit, when you clearly only watched 2 of my videos. So I need to know what else do you want? Okay.
So can I listen? First and foremost, I didn't come here to have a screaming match. It truly wasn't my intention. Okay.
That's fine. I don't give a shit.
But I do. I do care about that.
I don't give a flying fuck. This is funny to me. It's fucking hilarious. I think it's fucking hilarious that we're 2 guys sitting here in rooms across the fucking country yelling at each other like fucking idiots about the stupidest fucking shit in the world.
I don't think it's that stupid. No, but it's not really that stupid because from my perspective, this is a very loaded social issue.
Arguing with a grown man because I called him a fucking incel. It's fucking hilarious to me.
Bro.
Now, at the end of the day, bro, I just want to.
Can I just say? Hold on. I really
have to fucking.
I know. Just give me 2 minutes. Listen, listen, bro. When you say that this was all over bullshit, I honestly to me this is over the diminishment of sexual assault survivors and victims, pedophilia survivors and victims, You know, just due to their overreaction. And honestly, I do genuinely think that there's an aspect here of over maturing a young black boy to make him seem like a man so they could overprescribe punishment.
What's the
That's
point?
no. My point is to me, that's not like a dumb deal. That's a big deal. And you're saying that this is a stupid conversation, but like that's what I'm trying to relay.
No,
And that's
I said the conversation devolved.
You're
do you
right.
realize
It did
the last
devolve.
20 minutes yelling at each other over
Okay.
literally fucking nothing?
No, but it's not over. But it's not over nothing, man. Like this conversation to me was very important. And if you don't see the value in it, that's totally fine. But
no, don't pull that shit right now. That's so fucking dishonest. Don't pull that
how
shit.
is it dishonest? You keep saying that this conversation doesn't matter, and it does to matter to me, man.
Look, this isn't going anywhere.
Okay.
This isn't going anywhere. Let's reach a productive fucking end. Okay. I said that I'm gonna address it at the beginning of my next video. Okay.
I would appreciate it if you only I would appreciate it if you would only address the Killick part.
I apologize for the language I used. What else do you fucking want me to do? What else is a reasonable conclusion? What else? Because right now we're talking around in circles, and now you're trying to bring this whole thing and make it seem like I'm discrediting the whole conversation. No, I was talking about the point that we reached in this conversation. We were both yelling at each other.
Okay.
Like this is so fucking, you know, I don't know how often you bring people on your show, but if this is how you treat people when they come on your fucking show.
How do you feel? Well, that's the thing. I have, so can I talk about it really quick? I have like really productive conversations usually. Specifically, there's a content creator named Mr. Beard. He's an incredibly intelligent young man.
Yeah.
Like we had a great conversation. We disagree on a lot. Listen, man, can I just like, because listen, I honestly, after this conversation, I think that you're like a good guy. Like I'm being genuine. I'm not trying to be like a fucking asshole. We got into a crazy conversation. It looks like you don't think I'm a great guy, and I understand that. Okay.
How do you know that? Why the fuck are you putting words in my mouth?
Okay.
Why the fuck?
Okay. I'm sorry. It was the face you made. I will retract that.
Here's the thing. You keep jumping to conclusions, and that's what pisses me off.
Okay.
You do realize, like, I don't know, like how you treat people. Like, if you get pissed off at a person and you immediately start treating them like shit or like cutting them off or whatever, like I have a way of reacting to shit.
Well, I wasn't really cutting you off. You've been talking the majority of this thing.
Way to react. Maybe I don't react the best way that it is, but I'm still open to hearing shit and talking about it. Okay. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm rough around the fucking edges. It is what it is. This is who I am. I'm being authentic. Okay. At the end of the day, I need to fucking know. I just need to know what the conclusion is. I don't need you to go around in fucking circles and do all this shit. I need you to know.
Give you like an ending there. I was trying to give you an ending point, man. Listen, I believe that you came on here in like the most genuine way possible.
You literally said the most backhanded shit. You said, I don't believe you're a bad guy.
I think that there's incredible flaws to your logic, but I don't think that you're doing it to be disingenuous. That's all I'm saying.
It's fine.
That's what I'm saying.
It's fine. I mean, I never said that I was fucking perfect.
No, I'm not trying to. Listen, man, I'm not really trying to say that you're perfect.
I'm less than perfect.
Okay.
I'm far less than perfect.
And we're both right there. Listen, I'm not any better than you. I've had like a horrible history in some of my shit, which I've acknowledged here. I'm not trying to like shit on you. Even before you were like, I'm sorry for this. And I was like, bro, you don't have to like, I feel like you're over apologizing to me, bro. Because like we're two grown men having like a conversation. Like it does, like the little things don't matter.
It's a fucking ridiculous fucking conversation. The point that it's fucking devolved into.
Okay.
It's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Okay.
Okay. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, you know, I wanted this to be a very productive conversation.
Okay.
In the sense that I came here, I took accountability for, you know, fucking up and not covering that aspect.
Okay.
I was open to you not liking that I called you an incel. I went back and I changed it.
Again, I didn't care about that part, but okay.
What else do you look, dude? You wouldn't have brought it up if you didn't feel a certain type of way. Sorry, that's just how it works.
I was just talking about how you mischaracterized it. I don't even know if I brought it up. I think you brought it up. Wait, no, I'm pretty sure you brought up that I was an incel and you said that you knew I was married or something. Either way, it really doesn't bother me.
You asked me about the title of the video first, and you were trying to frame it as though I was dishonestly trying to, and then I explained to you the reason why, yes, it is. Just go back and watch it. The same way I didn't remember the goalpost thing, you're now misremembering this. Okay? Anyway.
Enough, I guess. Either way, I wasn't upset about it. I was just like bringing it up to, I guess I brought it up as a point to just say like, hey, you did inaccurately represent the situation. Either way, we're just going in a circle. Okay. All I'm trying to say is that like, listen, I disagree with things that you did and you disagree with things that I did. All I was trying to say, man, is that like, I think that you came on genuinely and I don't think that you're a bad guy just because we have a disagreement. That's all I'm trying to say, man. I'm not trying to like end. This was never the intention, was to have this fucking whole ass like yelling match.
Yeah, that the fact that it was a yelling match that devolved into that is what is absolutely ridiculous about the situation.
Sure, I agree.
That was my okay. I wanted to have a productive conversation. That's part of the reason why I wrote it in my community post. What else is going? How is this going to be productive?
Okay.
I mean, you explained to me, how is this productive?
I think that hopefully people understand like the core of the issue that I had, and hopefully I communicate to you my issue.
As a creator, like, how is this productive? Don't shelve this off to your audience.
What?
Tell me how.
Wait, hold on. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that we're making a video for our audience, so like I think that hopefully
that's fine. But how do you think? So the only thing that was productive about this was the fact you got a video from it.
No, that's not what I said. I literally said that hopefully people understand like my interpretation and your interpretation of the situation, and understand like what I had an issue with, which was like specifically like, you know, the intentionally maturing, the aspect in the beginning, like of the trying to deplatform Killick. That's why hopefully people understand that. That was what I was hoping to get out of this video.
Dude.
What?
I feel like I just wasted 90 minutes.
Why is that a bad answer though?
I honestly, this is like anyway, I just want to close this off. From my end, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Okay. Thank you.
You know, I apologize. You know, I'm what can I say? I'm not a perfect person. I'm an emotional person, and at the end of the day, I will go back and correct the aspect that I didn't cover in my video at the beginning of my next video.
Cool. I appreciate that.
That
would be the productivity of this conversation then.
Yeah, well, I said that at the beginning of the fucking video, so
okay. Well, anyway, that was part of the conversation, so yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I said it the first 5 minutes of the video.
Okay. Still part of the conversation.
You know, I changed that. That's fine.
Okay.
And look, I really hoped that this could be a productive conversation, especially considering how many videos you've made about this so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would expect that there would be more that you could bring to the table. Honestly, I'm kind of
come on, man. You're just making shots at me at the end here.
Dude, I'm just sharing my perspective. I can share why I'm disappointed about something.
Okay.
At the end of the day, I do feel disappointed. I feel like I just wasted an hour and a half of my life.
Okay.
And we got no product. Like, we ended up exactly where we started. Like I already planned on doing that, on having the beginning of the video that I just said it.
How come you wanted to come on and have a chat then?
What was the chat? This ended up devolving.
No, but you asked to do this.
Because you
yeah.
Get the facts right.
Okay.
You literally DM'd me. You DM'd me asking to do this.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't you DM me first?
Sure. So I'm just going to pull our chat up on the screen. So I DM'd you and I said, I saw your video, mate. Because the problem is that like when you responded.
No. Get the facts right.
So the fact here, but the fact here is I said I said, yeah, sure. Wait, you said let's have the chat. And I said, yeah, do you want to do it private or public? Let me know.
That's fine. Show the DMs, do whatever you want.
I'm doing it right now. I'm showing the DMs.
Dude. Show the DMs, do whatever you want, okay?
We could have done this in private. I literally said we could do this in private. I was totally fine with that.
Let me get a word in.
Okay, sorry.
Let me get a fucking
I've
word
only
in,
been
dude.
talking 30% of the time.
Let me fucking get it, whatever, okay? Let me get a fucking word in. Facts. A fact. You DM'd me first.
Yeah.
And you blasted it all over your social media.
Yeah.
You blasted it.
Because I was afraid that you were going to misinterpret it because you're a very bad faith individual. So, yeah.
Let me fucking finish. You DM'd me first. Sure. You blasted it all over your fucking Twitter. You put it on your community tab. Yeah. Okay. I've been getting comments about it to the point where I was like, okay, I thought about it for a day and I was like, what can actually come out of this situation? And I thought, as far as the sexual harassment, we're on the same side. So what's that conversation gonna be like? We're going to agree. We're going to move past that. As far as the mischaracterization of Killick, we're on the same side. Okay, cool. I just haven't said it publicly yet, but we're on the same side. We're going to agree on that and move on. So what else is there to talk about?
All I had asked.
Finish. You're not letting me finish. Okay. What else is there to talk about in that situation? So that's why I arrived at the conclusion that I was like, you know what? I don't really think it's worth going back and having this discussion because I don't think there's anything really productive that's going to
So then why did you have it? Because I said we could do it privately.
That's why I wrote my community post That's why I wrote my community post responding to your invitation, which you blasted all over your social media platforms, which, let's be honest, the reason why you did it was because you wanted to pressure your audience.
Why do you wait, but you don't know that. Like, you keep saying, like, you don't know, because you're like, that's not the reason I did it. Like, but you're making this assertion that's incorrect, man.
You wouldn't blast it on social media unless you wanted to pressure me.
Do you want to know why I did it?
No. Let me finish.
No, you don't know. Let me know. Okay, sure.
I responded on my community tab, and what did you do? You made another video. So that's 3 videos that you made about this situation. I made 1 video.
I think it's 4.
You made 4 videos. What, including this one? You're including this one?
This would be 5. It's 4. I did one on the first and second video, and then your video, and then like maybe 4, 5, maybe 6. I don't know. Maybe a good amount of them on there. Yeah, that's the kind of content I make. I make a lot of content.
Okay, so I made 1 video about the situation. Then I made a response on my community tab about this situation specifically. All right. So as far as the video, the part involving this debate, okay, you made, like I said, you made that initial DM. You shared it on social. I've been invited to debate people numerous times.
Okay.
You know how many times people actually blast it all over the social media?
So can I explain why I did it?
No. I asked you a question. You know how many times have people blasted their invitation for me to debate them on social media?
I have no idea. How many?
Never. You were the first person to do it.
Okay.
And you know what was the direct result of that? Was I got hundreds of people coming and harassing me and saying, "Hey, you got to debate him." And I was like, I considered it. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll do it. And I thought about it.
Okay.
I watched your response, and I was like, there's nothing that can be added to this conversation. Okay. And then, hold on. And then I posted my post, and you went back. You went back and you made an entire video responding to it.
Yes.
Just about this situation, you made 3 videos, a situation involving me. You've made more videos about me in this situation than the situation with the B family itself, because you made 2 videos about the B family. Now you made 3 videos about me.
Yeah, it's all relevant to the B family situation.
Your initial response to my coverage, your second response, and then you made a video responding to my community.
What's your point?
My point is that
I make more content than you. I make more content than you. That's it. That's what I usually do. I make a lot of content.
Look, dude.
I don't know.
I'm trying to understand, how is this supposed to be productive?
Okay. I know you keep saying that. And then, like, so first and foremost, the reason that I posted the response is because I thought that you mischaracterized my argument so badly that I thought that you would manipulate what I said. Because, like,
why?
Because you didn't bring up my point. Because in your response video, you didn't bring up my point, bro.
No. Take it back. Take a step back, because you just justified doing something publicly by jumping to a conclusion of what you thought I was going to do.
Because you were being very bad. You've been very bad faith. You didn't even represent my point in your response video to me.
Show me an example. Show me an example of a DM that I purposely shared to take out of context and make the last.
Listen, all I have to do is say, "Hey, you misrepresented my point." Oh, you misrepresented my point, and I felt like you were going to do it again. So that's why I released the DMs.
Dude,
you seem like a bad faith guy, bro. I'm sorry. But again, a really good question. Why didn't you just do this in private then, man? Why didn't we just have a private conversation about it? I said we could do this in public or private. Your call.
You wanted to have, what's even the gain? I mean, I honestly, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. You think I'm bad faith. I think you're bad faith.
Yeah, I know.
I don't fucking.
Okay, that's fair.
Because of the way you've been carrying yourself.
I've been carrying myself. I think I've been carrying myself pretty well. I think.
Huh?
I've been carrying myself pretty well.
No, I don't trust you. Sorry, I don't.
Oh, okay.
You realize I talk every single day. I talk to all different types of creators from all different levels.
Very cool.
I talk to people who are people who are massive creators, people who are smaller creators. I've never had an experience like this in my entire life.
Well,
never.
Then it's a good thing that somebody called you on your shit, I guess.
No, it's not about calling me on my shit.
Yeah, it was.
What about it is calling me out on my shit? I literally just at the beginning I called myself out on my shit, and I said,
yeah, I think that was like a preemptive tactic to make yourself seem virtuous, and this way, so when you move on, you get to be like, well, I did this and I did this and I did this, and then every single time I make a point, you go back to the original thing.
You are shifting the goalpost.
That's not shifting the goalpost. That's not even what that word means.
Because you're moving the conversation onto another thing.
That's not what shifting the goalpost means.
that is maybe I'm wrong then. Maybe that's not what it is. You're doing something. You're changing.
That'd be like pivoting, but I'm not pivoting. I'm just bringing up a context.
Yeah, whatever. It's extremely dishonest. Honestly, I have a hard time trusting you. That's why I didn't want to come at first. You blasted it out. Like, honestly, that's fine that you blasted it out. That's how you do your business. Okay.
Not usually. You're the first person that I've ever done that to, I think.
Why did you feel like you had to do that to?
Well,
oh no, actually no. Actually, no. You've done that to people on TikTok, because I've seen numerous people. In fact, there are numerous TikToks that people have sent me of you doing that to people on TikTok.
Oh, who?
So
can I see the TikToks? Can you send me the TikToks? Can you send them to me so I know what you're talking about?
Up right now. I have one right here. Okay. So this person, Clay Real Searle, said the Chronicles of Enabling the Contributing. Chapter 2, Papa Gut. If a right-wing centrist ever existed, it would be him. Makes fun of trans people, then claims it's a joke after getting heat.
These are all things that I've said that I was shitty for, by the way.
He says, and then he quotes you. He says, join my Twitch if code is code for let me debate the value of your life on my platform for clout. Constantly in black people's businesses. This is it. You look it up. That's it right there.
Okay, but like, what does that have to do with showing people's DMs?
I just gave it to you. Okay.
What is it? But that's not a DM. That's not anybody showing DMs. What are you talking about?
That's it. That's the exact same. That's the exact same tactic of you blasting out. Debate me on my platform.
Bro,
you just
I don't know what to tell you, man. Like I just don't know what to tell you, bro. I think that bro, that's nothing. You literally said I do this all the time with DMs.
We're never gonna arrive at an agreement. At the end of the day, we can go on fucking hours. And this isn't at the end of the day. Nothing good is going to come out of this. Nothing good
I don't think it's gonna, man, because I don't think that you were ever open to a real conversation.
I came here. I wasn't. How can you say that when I literally went back?
Because you haven't listened to like anything I've been saying. You have. So if you notice the only things that you've done are things that you said you were already going to do.
How honest you are. I literally went back in real time and edited the title of my video to remove the word instant.
I didn't care.
I literally went back and got your points from your response, and I said, "Hey, you know what? I'll go back and retracted everything at the beginning of my video." I literally went back. How can you say that? How can you say that?
Because every single thing that you've said today, you said that you were already going to do before having the conversation. I don't think you've actually listened to the thing I said, man. It's unfortunate, man, because I think you're a good guy.
What did you say? What did I miss that you said? Especially when you consider the fact that I said that you complained about the incel thing and went back and I fixed it.
I didn't complain about that. You complained about it. Like, you kept bringing it up. It was so weird. I've been very uncomfortable as you talk about it.
Go back on the video. You'll see. Fucking complain about it. Don't try to put that on me, dude. Just tell me what's
that? That like what I mean when I feel like you're not listening, because I've been trying to I'm engaging in like a conversation. Because right. So every single time I try to bring up something where like you don't have the same like moral standard for things or same logical framework, you just go like, oh, comedy subjective. But I was talking about Killick made a joke, you made a joke. And you don't see how, like, but you mischaracterize this as not a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like,
being extremely dishonest with your interpretation of, and even saying, I said, since you're saying this, then I explained this, and I said your jokes, and I said, and you like explained whatever. Look, at the end of the day, you don't seem to be wanting to have a good faith conversation.
I do. I do seem to be. I do actually want a good faith conversation.
You don't. You got what you wanted.
Do you think that you asserting a thing is going to make people believe you?
Dude, listen. Because even though there were people who were telling me to do this, the vast majority of my audience were like, "Don't give this guy a platform."
So why did you? Why didn't you just do this in private? Like I said we could do this in private. I had no intention of making this video.
How am I supposed to trust someone who got private DMs and immediately blasted them out?
Well, I didn't blast. But I didn't blast. Like, I showed my DM.
Then have someone have footage and then put out whatever parts they want. This is it. People are getting it on a live stream. This is unfiltered, uncut. This is it. So I'd much rather it be like this than you cherry pick the shit that you want to put out.
When do I ever do that? When have I ever? But that's what you do. You
blasted it out. You got it.
No. You said that if we did a private conversation, I would cherry pick information and put it out there. Of course. But that's your whole platform. My platform is watching everything. But your opinion is unfounded because I never do that, ever. There's no basis for your opinion.
the fact that you picked up my DM immediately.
I don't cherry pick information. I literally, every single video I do, I never cut things out of context. There are times where I'm wrong and people are like, you are literally wrong. And that's good because I show the whole video. I do it intentionally in case I fuck up. So like, you don't have, like, what you're saying is unfounded. It's fine to want to do it publicly. I'm just saying, like, we could have done it in private. Would have been fine. Like, I would have been totally fine. I didn't really care if we had a conversation.
And you know what? That's fine. Perhaps the way you reacted, I was like, this guy's kind of a piece of shit. Maybe I shouldn't trust him. Maybe I was wrong.
What made you think I was a piece of shit? Like, which reaction made you think I was a piece of shit?
The DM, you were like, I'm telling you right now, it's extremely dishonest. As a creator, that's a faux pas. You don't just put out DMs immediately, especially after you invite someone. You're going to tell me that your sole purpose was not to pressure me to go on and do this.
No, here's the thing. If it was, I would just say, like, yeah, I wouldn't care. But it wasn't. I genuinely, like, I genuinely, like, the way that you present information is incredibly disingenuous. And I was like, I'm going to put this up there in case he cherry picks what I'm saying and puts it out there.
This conversation isn't getting anywhere.
Okay, so you said you were busy an hour ago. It seems like you're not as busy as you want to seem like. That's something that Keemstar does a lot. He says he's so busy, and you're doing that right now, but you clearly have nothing going on, bro. Why don't you just dip out? We'll have a respectful goodbye.
Conversation isn't getting anywhere. This conversation isn't getting anywhere.
So just you've been saying that for an hour. Why are you still here if you have so many other things to do?
I have to go because I get trapped in shit. This is just
who's trapping you? Who's trapped? You can. I've been trying to say multiple times, like, listen, man, I think you're a decent guy. I'm trying to end it, and then you keep bringing it back to a conversation.
Let's fucking end it.
Okay.
Let's fucking end it.
Okay. Well, listen. Fine. I appreciate you coming on, and genuinely, if you're ever in the New York area, let me know, and I'll take you out to a beer or something, man. Hopefully.
Yeah. Fine.
After this conversation, we can both absorb, and we'll realize we're not two bad people. You know, that's it.
The way you just framed me to your audience, I find it hard to believe.
But do you see how you're bringing it back to the conversation after I tried to end things like in a really cordial way?
You can't just say something fucked up.
What did I not expect? I said that I think you're a good guy, and then I want to take you out for a beer.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You said, and maybe I'll find out that you're not you're not a bad person or something like that.
No, wait. Let me just correct that. I was just saying that hopefully the both of us, let me just be clear about we'll get off this conversation and we'll both realize the other isn't a bad person. That's what I was trying to say. That was it.
That's fine. At the end of the day, like I said, this conversation didn't really go anywhere. We ended up at the very end of it. And I hope the audience enjoyed the show because this is why people watch shit. So they can watch people do this kind of shit. And
that's not usually why people watch my content. So I'm a little disappointed in the way that it went. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, just be fucking honest for once that this is why.
I'm honest pretty often, man. I don't know what to tell you.
People love a fucking shit show. Okay.
People do love a shit show. That's why they like your content. But like people don't really gravitate towards my content for that because I don't usually do that.
People fucking watching it to know that people fucking love to watching a shit show.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
They love it like a very divisive situation.
Face as you're reading these comments. So I know exactly what's going on. I don't even have it open. I'm not fucking stupid. I know exactly what's going on.
Okay.
At the end of the day, I appreciate you took the time to talk to me. I'm just kind of disappointed that this really didn't end up being something that could have been more productive. Like I said in my original community post, it wasn't going to be that productive.
Okay.
And
all right. I appreciate you coming on, man. Take care.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Holy moly. Let me just end this. Get my face on the screen. Okay. Well, that was a very interesting conversation that I just had with Def Noodles. I'm a little thrown back. I'm a little surprised at what the fuck just happened. Okay. Wow. I guess I'm sorry for going a little crazy at some point, but he did seem to constantly goad me into it. Listen, man, I was trying to say before, I really don't think he's a bad guy. All right. I really don't. I think that there's a lot of things that are disagreeable. I just think that he's a very sensitive guy, and I think that he has this expectation for himself that if he's wrong in like a real way, that like that'll destroy his character. He brought up a few of my issues from the past. I think that's great. I wish we could have had a better conversation about it. It was really unfortunate because he didn't seem to care about the context behind what I was saying. Because like he brought up the old enough to bleed, old enough to breed thing. I talk about that all the time. That was a really fucked up moment for my content. And like I talk about it a lot because like I was intending to call out a potential predator. And like it doesn't matter. This was what really taught me like your intentions matter, but so do your actions. And I was like, okay, I have to reel it in. I'm not just some fucking dude on the street anymore. Like I have a platform. I'm very lucky for that. Right? That was a big thing for me. And so I'm trying to operate in a better way. The one joke, and this is something that I really want to reinforce, like the black-owned business joke was like the worst part of my content. That was the most worthless I ever was the entire time. It wasn't until like that person I talked about, Blackbird 451, man. This guy like knows who I am. Like this guy, like I this is a really big point for my career because this is what I genuinely feel like turned into like the upturn of like who I am as a content creator, not how many views I got. And like it was weird that he brought these up to try to diminish me, but he wouldn't let me explain because this was a big deal. And this was what like the worst of my content where I made like a joke. It was a joke. Like I'll try to explain it to you guys because he didn't really let me talk about it. Okay. I was going down like a bad path. And I made this joke, and it was a joke, but it was wrong. I'm going to explain this to you. Where I said that, like, oh, there's a supermarket opening up. They're going to put tags on things like black-owned business and et cetera, et cetera. And I said, well, at least I know where not to buy from, right? And, like, it was a joke. But Blackbird came to me and said, listen, man, I know you. And this guy does. He's a great guy. He always has conversations with me. He's like he's a half black, half Hispanic dude who grew up in, like, a fucking, what do you call it, the projects? I don't know. And he would always, like, give me the benefit of the doubt and, like, explain things to me. Because I'm a dumb fuck. I'm a dumb white guy. And we would chat. And this time he said to me, Papa Gut, I know you. And I didn't know that this was a joke. And like that made me sit back and go like, wow, like why did I, if he doesn't think it's a joke, then there's something that's wrong with what I'm saying. And so I sat there and I'm like, why did I say that? And I found that like, yeah, man, I had like a subconscious bias that was pushing me in like a bad way. And I talk about it because, like, it was a failure for me as a content creator. And I like to talk about the ways that I failed constantly. It's a big thing that I do here to the point where my chat tells me to shut up. Because it's relevant. And it was interesting that he would say things about how, like, I was racist or I was this. And I would just, like, I was really trying to engage, but he didn't seem to really want to engage in those conversations. They seemed to just be things that he wanted to bring up to discredit me. And I was like, oh, let's have a really good conversation about like my failures as a content creator. You know? He just didn't seem super interested in it. It's a little shitty. I'm anticipating him possibly taking it out of context or something and pushing up there. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna clip this. I don't even think he needs to release any video about me. This was never about me. I don't know why. I didn't care about. I don't know why he thought I cared about the incel comment. If I brought it up first, my whole point was just like it just shows that you misrepresented me. And I think he brought it up. I feel like he brought it up. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But either way, I wasn't upset about it. And he kept going on about it. It was so weird. It was very weird. I was like, can we talk about something for real? You know. I think that this is a really good point, though. Somebody in the chat said, I really believe that Deaf Noodles had a hard time interacting and trusting Papa Gut. Because of his fundamentally poor experience with toxic online debates and all that. It's a really terrible space and can turn into, I don't know what that word is, it's censored, into a negative mindset. Listen, man, I do believe that. I believe that the reason that we couldn't have like a really cool, honest conversation from honestly his end is I think that he's had a lot of negative experiences of people taking him out of context. I've had that happen to me before, but never on YouTube debates, you know? So, like, he might have some kind of PTXD from that. Not real PT, but you know what I mean. Like, he had a negative experience, and now he's interacting in a way he thinks I'm like a troll. And I talk about this too, man. I look like your average fucking dumb fuck, racist, conservative. So it makes sense as to why he would think that. Like, why he would think that I was, like, just out to get him. But I really wasn't, bro. And it was a little frustrating. You know, I did lose myself at some point because he kept yelling and going and, you know, very frustrating. But I don't think he's a bad guy. I really don't think he's a bad guy. I know he's not going to like me, and I think that comes with the territory. I think I think it comes with the territory, brother. But I'm when I said at the end, hopefully at the end of this, that both of us can sit down and realize that the other one isn't a shitty person. What I'm saying is, like, hopefully after this conversation, maybe he like thinks about it. And like I talk about this, it takes time to like process information and like really show like, okay, like what did I say? What had happened? And sometimes it just clicks. And I'm hoping that like down the road, maybe Def Noodles will be like, oh shit, you know what? I don't think this Papa Gut guy is a bad dude. You know what I mean? That's it. That's all all it was. And I did want to bring something up because, like, listen, I genuinely mean this. Did I bring this up already? I don't know. I've been talking for 2 hours. You got to give me a break. The DM from him that I put up. I'm gonna explain. Like, if I genuinely was just trying to get him to debate me, I would have just said, "Yeah, bro, I'm just going for the debate." LOL. Oh, I could, but it wasn't what it was. That really genuinely wasn't what it was. I felt like he really like he was like really digging into me. I don't think that they were jokes. I think that he says that things are jokes as a way to try to stave off criticism. And so I was just like representing what I was saying. I was like, hey, you know, like I didn't feel comfortable sending you something for you to potentially take out of context. I guess maybe I was offended. I don't know. But it felt shitty. Not what he said, but just like the way that it manifested. It wasn't really a joke. Or it wasn't a good one. And if some people don't understand your jokes, might want to be, you know, you know, maybe that's something to think about. Yeah, man, this was just like a lot of yelling at me and calling me a dumb fuck and et cetera, and et cetera. And you could
to him, geez, I'm not gonna have any fuck.
And a really bad faith interpretation of everything that I had said. He went on a lot about like the Keemstar thing, and I was, you know, he said a lot of like just dishonest shit. It is clear to me that he may not know exactly what some words mean. He didn't know what shifting the goalposts mean. I don't know if he knows what disingenuous means. Say that. But yeah, man, in the DM, while we were having the conversation, I did mention like we could do this public or private, and I get it. Maybe he didn't want it privately because he thought it would turn into like a problem. That's totally understandable. But I'm totally uploading this video. Like, I'm not gonna lie and be like, I don't care. I fucking need the money too. I'm doing all right. Like, I didn't need this video. You know, today was gonna be my day off so I could play a video game tomorrow that comes out. Lost Ark. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna hang out with my wife today, which I gotta get off soon to hang out with my fucking wife. That's what I want to do. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. I gotta process this information too. Just to end this off, no, I'm not letting Mama Gut in here because I would actually like a positive relationship with Def Noodles at some point. I mean that genuinely. I look at us as co-workers in some capacity, and I believe that, like, you know, down the line, I'm probably going to continue to grow. So I don't want my wife is a fucking firecracker, and she will fucking just tear into Def Noodles, and I love her to death, but that's not what I want. Like, I don't I don't want her to do that. She's very defensive of me. I don't want her I don't want her to talk about it. But yeah, man, listen, to end this all to let this end this all off, man. The biggest reason why I do think that he was trying to be as genuine as possible is because I don't think that anybody would genuinely come on and perform the way that he did and expect people to believe him. Because listen, I think he's a nice guy. I think he's a great guy. I mean that genuinely. But if I behaved the way he did, I would be very embarrassed. So I know that it comes off a little harsh, but I do I truly mean that, man. As a last off, listen, man, I really don't want the toxicity spewing out of my community and like sending Def Noodles anything, really. You know, you have every right to comment on things you want to comment. That's fine. But like, you know, hate speech and things along the line, that's obviously like not something that I want. You know, how is he a nice guy? Bro, I've dealt with people that are very similar. Listen, man, I used to work a real job. I've dealt with people who were a little hot-headed and a little intense, and they took things a little personally. This is fucking, you know, I think that this was a very big, important social issue to talk about. but I also think it's through the lens of like drama. And so I don't think that like he's a bad person fundamentally for this situation that he's in. Honestly, I think that he's a victim of online bullshit. I think he's a victim of online bullshit, brother. I think that's what it really boils down to. And I think that he's like he's really enthralled by the online sphere, and I've been there. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, bro. Anyway, it was a nice time. Let's yeah, we'll see when he posts his follow-up. That'll be something. Yeah, let me play the alerts, and then I'll probably tap out of here.
Perfumery's just resubscribed for 3 months.
Thank you so much for the sub, brother.
Hey, Papa, it's been 3 months here and you've been growing.
Thank you. I've been trying. I've been trying to lose weight.
Cronlight's just resubscribed for 2 months.
Thank you so much for the sub, brother.
Alpha Moga 26 just resubscribed for 2 months. 2 months of the Grandmaster.
Hey, thank you so much for the sub, brother. Sorry that I have different energy levels for everything.
William_Gamberg just gifted 2 subs.
Jesus. Thank you so much for the sub, brother. Thank you for the gifted subs, man. I really appreciate that.
William_Gamberg just gifted 2 subs.
Gun show? Oh, you like the gun show, baby? Oh.
Drippy_Uchiha1 just resubscribed for 5 months.
Hey, thank you so much for the resub, brother.
Smiley face.
Yeah, I saw you switch the title. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he'll probably bring up the incel thing again. But if he follows up, I'm just going to make a new video.
William_Gamberg just gifted 1 sub.
Thank you so much for giving us up, brother. I'm just going to continue. Like, if he responds, I'm going to respond as well. I mean, like, not for nothing, but that's my content.
William_Gamberg just
hey, thank you so much for the resub, brother.
3 months.
It was, I'm going to play Paladin Lost Ark. It was so interesting because, what was I going to say? Fuck, my brain is like mush.
Scander_bro just subscribed.
Thank you so much for the sub, brother. Damn, you guys have a lot. Thank you so much for the subs, guys. What was I going to say? I don't fucking remember, bro. My fucking brain is fried.
Big Dog 7866 just resubscribed.
Hey, thank you so much for the
resub,
resub, brother.
Yeah, did you all talk about the Snipper Wolf versus Keemstar stuff?
No, it actually would have been really nice. I expected a nice, productive conversation as well.
Papa.
I honestly did expect a nice conversation. I don't know what happened. I was flabbergasted at so many. I was fucking, bro. What I tell you, I was taken back.
Meaty_ just resubscribed
hey, thank you so much for this up, brother.
3 months.
He ran the narrative of the whole conversation. Like, he was in charge of the conversation. It's so weird. Like, the way that he took the conversation was bizarre.
Curly Daddy 101 just resubscribed.
Hey, thank you so much for the resub, brother. Hey, what's up, Curly? How you doing, my man? I was fucking shocked.
Black Diamonds 2468 just resubscribed
19 months.
19
Thanks so much,
months.
brother.
Woo, sharing this on a moment I didn't expect. Lma.
Holy moly.
Intergalactic just gifted 1 sub.
Thank you so much for the gifted sub. I was genuinely hoping for a nice conversation. I feel like I didn't really press him on a lot. He was very sensitive. I was trying not to press him too much.
William_Gamberg just gifted 1
I really
subs.
mean that. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be sensitive, by the way. I was like, well, this guy's a little... And I was trying to be, like, nice. And there are times where I lost it, too. I have a boiling point as well.
Gifted Matt's Teason Mimith08 a subscription.
Hey, thank you so much for the gift of sub, brother.
Gamberg gifted a tier 1 sub to Matt's Teason Mimith08.
Yeah, I guess this time he was fat online.
Shadraps just resubscribed for 3 months.
Hey, thank you so much for the sub, brother. Holy moly.
Goon 343 just subscribed.
Hey, thank you so much for the sub, brother. Yeah, he didn't really let me speak a whole lot, I don't think. You know.
Bahalabilly's just resubscribed.
Thank you so much for the sub.
No one can take down the fat gump.
Yeah, fat gump, brother. But yeah, you can join us on a beer, sure. Why not?
William_Gamberg just gifted 1 subs.
Thank you so much for the gifted sub, brother. So much. I I might try to reach out to him in a day or two. I want to let him cool off a little bit. Be like, what's up, bro? Like, you know, whatever. I don't know, man. Good.
Joadan streams just resubscribed
I looked pretty good today,
for
though.
2 months.
Hey, thank you so much for the reset, brother. I looked pretty cute today, though. I think that's the moral of the story. Is I look kind of cute today, and I'm feeling myself. I'm wearing my nice tie dye. I got all my squishmallows behind me. I got my wedding ring on, obviously, and I got my I think it's Jasper and Sodalite. No, I think it's Lapis Lazuli bracelet with my little flower charm. I was sitting down just chilling. I was playing fucking Clash Royale, and he messaged me. He's like, let's do the conversation. I'm like, oh, online or offline, brother? Then he made me use Zoom. That's probably the biggest thing that he did wrong. He made me use fucking Zoom. Do I think Keemstar will cover this? Bro, I honestly hope Keemstar doesn't cover this because I don't want this to turn into Warframing. Warframe. You know, like the game? No, I seriously... I really don't want this to... Like, I'm going to post my video so everybody can just, like, see what happened, you know, do their thing, you know. But I don't want this to turn into, like, Papa Gut and Def Noodles and this. You want to know why? Because then everybody's just going to shit on Def Noodles. And it's going to be stupid. It's going to be so dumb. Because, like, whether I agree with him or not, regardless of his motivation, which might have just been, like, he felt like he had to because people were giving him negative feedback, I think it took some balls to come on and have a chat with me. And I thought that was cool, and I don't want to dissuade that experience in the future.
Papa. Thoughts on new Clash Royale Lava Hound Gamma mode?
Pretty fun. I already beat it, you know. But yeah, like I don't want to like. I hate the culture that possibly is gonna like wrap around this situation where it's gonna be like, oh, I doubt Keemstar covered. Like this is like no news. Like this is not a big deal. But I know people like maybe Tipster might cover it, and like if you do your thing. I understand. Like I'm not gonna be like, please don't. But I hope that like people don't find it interesting because I am so genuine when I say like, you know, for me, it took so many conversations about different things to finally get it through my head. Like we're talking about like I started talking about like social issues and politics 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I got into it because of Jon Stewart. I love the guy to death, and it took me 6 years to come to this point, which is as educated as I've ever been. And I'm still not even there. And like we had one conversation about something that like was a social issue, and I don't think that he usually covers social. I don't think that he's super in depth on social, and that's not a criticism, bro. That's just like a normal thing. You know, what's up, Killick? I see that you're in here. And like I just want maybe he'll just sink in slowly.